ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our boys are joining the boys. Cowboys Training Camp, live from Oxnard, California. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM in Oxnard, California. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp coverage continues. Brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. I'm Jason Minix. You can always be a part of the show on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, on Twitter at Jason Minix. If you're watching on our YouTube Live or Facebook Live, you see a familiar face coming into the screen or going out of the screen. I don't know where you just went, man. You're pushing buttons, and all right, there he is. Bryce Butler, former Cowboys wide receiver, here at training camp today, and we got a lot to talk about with training camp. Dak did leave with an injury, but he's going to be okay. There's apparently some wildfires pretty close by. You hear the sirens, you hear the helicopters flying over. But if you look the other way, it's clear blue sky. The other side, there's some smoke there. Spurs and trade rumors involving Ben Simmons and 4 first-round picks. We'll get into that ridiculous Daryl Morey apparently fleecing that they're trying to do. But let's start. I mean, we're here at Cowboys camp running into an old friend and Cowboys wide receiver Bryce Butler, and it's like hold home week for you. Every media guy's coming by and you're saying hi, man. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. It's interesting, Jay. Like, I came out here not thinking about Cowboys camp at all. Like, I came out here to do some golf content stuff that I've been doing the last year and a half. And then while I was like headed to the airport, I'm looking through Instagram and I'm seeing like practice clips. And I'm like, oh, snap, like the team's in Oxnard, because I know last year with COVID and all that, like y'all were in Dallas for camp. And so I'm just not putting 2 and 2 together when I'm, getting my schedule set up to go to LA. And then I was like, oh, I have to go see a practice. So I hit Dak up and was like, hey, are they allowing people to come, watch practice? He's like, yeah. So, I hit up the people I need to hit up.
It starts with number 4, right?
Oh, yeah, it starts with 4.
I mean, so you hit up Dak Prescott, and so, not many people can say that, right?
Right. That's my guy, though. That's my guy.
Right. Let's start there. He left practice today because of arm soreness. Says he's going to be fine. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. Okay. So I was all worried, like, no, because we're going to get Dak Prescott on the show tomorrow, right? Yeah. But apparently that's as we sit right now, he's still going to be on the show tomorrow, and apparently it is just fine. Right. When you hear arm soreness in your quarterback, should I be concerned or should I not be concerned?
No, I've seen Dak since he first walked in the building, so I've seen him when he was a young 23-year-old man. Now he's 28, 29. He's an older gentleman. So, the body might be just telling him, hey, take it easy today. The arm's a little sore, and obviously he's in a place now where he's a vet, so he can pull the vet move from, every now and then. So, yeah, there's another quarterback that used to pull a lot of those, and my guy T. Romo. So I mean, Dak's just chilling. So we cool today. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even losing any sleep on it.
Oh, because Cowboys Nation is.
Yeah, nah. There's no need to. For what? I mean, there's a lot.
You saw what life was like without Dak last year.
Yeah, fine, but it's just one day in practice. He was out there yesterday. He was out in his uniform today.
Tomorrow that most reporters won't know to ask Dak Prescott?
Oh, perfect question. I got one for you. You can ask him about the time I told him to change. I tried to get him to change a play in the huddle his rookie year. He remembers that story like it was yesterday. Just ask him the time that I tried to get him to change a play, and just ask him if he did it or not. All right. So however you got to word it to make it sound clever, just be like, we had your boy in here, yesterday, and he was talking about, trying to get plays changed and stuff like that, and just see what he says. All
right, I might just play that clip and have you essentially end up asking that question. But you look at it and you go, okay, how often does that happen with wide receivers trying to get the quarterback to change the play?
Oh, I mean, Honestly, I know we want a lot of plays changed mentally, but what guys actually said in the huddle while quarterbacks actually calling the play, I did that a lot.
Well, you did, but I knew you at the time, man. I mean, you were like, dude, you got to throw me the ball. I'm trying to get paid. I can't come out here running routes. I got to catch passes.
You know, and everybody knows in my teammate, like I've never been a guy that was short for words, or at a loss for words. And yeah, he called a play that I wasn't feeling in the huddle, and I was like, hey, we need to change that. Not happening.
All right, so
and he was like, what? It was like we had a full out conversation in the middle of him trying to like call the play, and he was like, we're not doing that. He was like, man, shut up, man, come on. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's a good fond memory, especially being on the field with that.
Bryce Butler with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM out here in Oxnard. Obviously, you're done.
Yeah, I haven't officially retired. I think I'm going on that Terrell Owens route of just like I'm gonna just keep working out, keep my abs looking nice, eat right. Get a video here and there with Tyreek Hill trying to race him, and then just act like I'm still ready, staying ready, so I don't have to get ready. But now I'm done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about ab videos and all of that. Every video I see of you is on a golf course.
Oh yeah.
I mean, are you going from the NFL to the PGA Tour?
Oh no. You might see me. I might hold a mic for the PGA Tour or NBC at some point. I'm working the media route in the golf space. I also still do a lot of football. I have a little talk show that I got with my man Ryan Hollins, that's an ex-NBA player. So we kind of have like a Skip and Shannon, like undisputed type show that we're working on. We're building that up as well. But I'm big. I love golf. I'm passionate about golf. And I didn't want to coach football. So I was like, you know what? Let me just grab a camera and let's just start vlogging these golf videos. So it's been going good.
It's funny because you've always been a golfer. I mean, we've been coming out here to Oxnard since the Cowboys started coming out here. I don't remember what year. I don't remember. That Wind was with me at the time co-hosting. And Rudy J, who this is his first Cowboys camp, who's doing R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson, was like, yo, it's right by a golf course. Can I take my clubs? And I was like, man, you don't have time. The only time I've ever hit golf balls during training camp was with Bryce Butler years ago on an off day. Right?
Yeah, exactly. River Ridge right here. Coach Brett Bresh, you remember him, strength coach? We will always bring our clubs. Jalen used to bring them too. Jalen Smith used to bring his clubs too.
He's a golfer?
He plays. Matter of fact, I have a deal with Callaway. He hits me up all the time trying to get stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So he loves golf as well, and I used to have my clubs.
Do you hook him up?
Yeah, we hooked him up. We hooked him up. He wants some wedges, and I was like, I can make a couple phone calls for him.
I'm going to make that call. I'll text you later. I just
need 120 plus tackles.
Well, all right, so all these guys are your friends, right? You're not that far removed. You know what they're going through.
Yep.
Last year, obviously with all the injuries, but last year, new coach, it was a disaster for the Cowboys. As a player, watching what was going on, what were you thinking? Because you know more about the personality inside the locker room. What was going on with this team last year?
Last year was an interesting year for a lot of people. Obviously, a lot of players don't like to admit it, but OTAs and spring football is like a key piece in what you're doing, and you lose that with COVID, right? And then on top of that, you have a brand new coaching staff in which Garrett and his regime was in Dallas from I think like 2009 or 2010 up until
10 years of that.
Up until that point. So, a lot of the guys that are in the facility that play football are Jason Garrett's guys, right? Like that team, like that mold, the characteristic of that team is that team. And then you get a new coach that I don't know McCarthy personally, but like knowing guys that play for Green Bay that play for him, it's totally different. It's like night and day. It's not, from what I see, it's not really about like being physical, having pads on all the time, hitting people and doing all that. It's more about, recuperating. I think the guys get off at like 6 o'clock now. So that allows you to refresh mentally and physically so you can get ready for camp. So it was a different guy at the head with something that was the same, and he's trying to teach his philosophies to the team, and that's going to take time. I mean, there's not too many brand new coaches that come in and like take a team from being whatever it was and taking them to the championship or like taking them to the promised land.
Well, and then with all the COVID restrictions and protocols and everything, I mean, that was tough on any first year coach at whatever program from a high school level all the way up, dealing with what everybody had to deal with last year.
It was hard to go buy a burrito at Chipotle.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, if you can't do that, like think about coaching 50, 65 men and like 20 other people on the staff, you know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of stuff going on. So to me, you know, obviously there were teams that had success last year. But when you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm like, yo, like there's a lot of things that changed last year. And then your guy gets hurt. I mean, Dak got hurt, game 4 against Coach Garrett and them in New York. You have to, you got to,
wash your
hands. Wash your hands. Let's go to 2021. Let's get it.
Well, in the defense, and you know, you were here at practice today. I counted, I think, 4 interceptions, maybe 5.
I saw a couple of them.
You know, yesterday there was a couple interceptions. Dak threw 2. One was a pick 6. Is the defense ahead of the offense right now in practice? Did it feel that way today?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, honestly, it was like impossible to watch practice. I mean, when we were talking about it back there, like you're back there, the team is across the whole, you can't see nothing. Like, so it was really hard to see, but I mean, it's always like this in the beginning of camp, really. Defense is typically all about effort, right? So like, as long as you kind of know your keys and you get to the right spot, everything else is like want to and will, just get into the ball, whatever. You know, offense is more meticulous. It's like, you got to know where you're supposed to be. It's like the 4th step. Then you put your foot in the ground, you turn your head, and, you know, the ball should be on you. You know what I mean? And then the lineman has to get his box properly. The running back has to step up and not let Jalen come through. Like, there's a lot more things that has to be done in offense. So typically the offense takes more time to develop. I feel like offensively it's more like fine wine during camp. If you know, 4 weeks of camp was a lifelong, you know, winery. That's more like how offense is compared to defense. Defense is just throw a whole bunch of people in a room and just tell them to get to the ball.
Well, but be on the same page. And, you know, we talked about Jalen Smith earlier. You know, a couple of years ago, it looked like he and Leighton were going to be the best linebacker doing the NFL. Right. And last year, but they were out of position, it feels like. Now they're going to be back in position. The addition of Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, who will be on the Blitz coming up at 5 o'clock. Trayvon's going to join us as a second-year guy. Looks like the leader of that secondary group right now. And my goodness, they can't get worse than they were last year. They were literally historically bad.
We would hope that they can't get worse. That would be the hope. The defense was tough. We had a coach that probably shouldn't have been coaching. Now, what do I know? I've never been a coach. I'm just a 6-year NFL player that doesn't know anything. But maybe he shouldn't have been here.
That's a guy that got Tabasco in his eye during a press conference.
So it was just bad. The defense was bad last year, but I think they'll be much better this year. We'll be young on defense, and that can be really good, or that could be, you know, we might have some growing pains early in the season, but I think these guys that we have, like Parsons coming in, stuff like that, I think, you know, he's like a resilient player. Seems like a guy that knows what he's a Penn State guy. Yeah. You know, you remember the last Penn State linebacker we had? He was here for a long time. He was the leader of the defense, and he was a monster. He was mean
when he was
made
out
the
there.
Plays, you know. So, and then obviously when he got a little older, his body failed him. But I think he'll be okay, and I think the defense will be fine. Like I said,
and the defense doesn't have to be that much better.
You just have to not let the team. If we score 34 points, don't let them score 35.
See, you could be a coach. You sound like a coach. Just one more point than the other guy. We're good.
If the offense scores 31, don't let them score 32. But no, it will be great if we can keep teams, you know, under 21 points a game. If we can do that, I think I always tell people this as well, especially with how this team is built. If the running game can be what it is, what it's supposed to be, what the potential is, that will be our greatest defense as well. That time of possession. I remember being here in 16 and 17. We were beating teams because when we got the ball at the end of the game with 7 minutes left, we could have the ball the rest of the game. And that was something that we haven't had. We throw the ball a little bit more now, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But at the same time, we can still run the ball effectively, and I think we can do that. So I'm excited to see what we got going this year, man. I think it's going to be dope.
Tough year last year for Zeke, 979 yards.
Which is a lot of yards.
Let's put that in perspective. I laugh when people say, do you think he can get 1,000? I was like, well, he had 979, and we called that a bad year, and his offensive line was all hurt. So, those backup offensive linemen are good if you only got to plug in one. You can mask that. When you're plugging in 3 or 4, that's tough. And, so 979 in what we considered a bad year, and there's 17 games. Yeah, he's going to get 1,000 yards this year. Can he get 15? Could he have 2,000 all-purpose yards passing out of the backfield? But looking at Zeke, he looks like he spent this offseason dedicating himself to. I last year was a mulligan. Yeah, we got to make that up.
Yep. Yeah, he looks focused, man. And I talked to him a few times this offseason, and he just seems like he was laser sharp. Like he was, I always tell guys this too. Like, if a guy posts workouts or doesn't post workouts, it doesn't mean he's not working out. But like the way he was posting his workouts, like you could tell, like he was focused, like he was hungry. Zeke's never done that. Mm-hmm. Like the way he has done it, like posting his videos this summer, he's never done that. Like I've known him for 4 or 5 years now. What's up, RJ? I know him for a minute now. He's never done that. So like me seeing that was like, oh yeah, like he's trying to show everybody like, look, I know y'all was talking trash about me last year, even though I still basically rushed for 1,000, but I'm just I'm letting y'all know I'm working. You see it, I'm working. I'm going to work.
Former Cowboy wide receiver Bryce Butler with us here in Oxnard. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com and our original Rock the Mic champ joining us. He's back home in Texas. Wrapping up all the stuff he needed to for the practice day for bloggingtheboys.com. It's like old friend week here. I mean, Bryce Butler's just making the rounds like, he's the mayor of Oxnard. You're running the tennis courts. Everybody's coming up to say hi. It's been a fun time.
Yeah, man. They used to call me the mayor. Coach Dooley used to call me the mayor, which is funny. But yeah, it's good to see everybody, man. I've always been a big fan of the Cowboys prior to me being on the team, and even more so now. And seeing everything. I know a lot. Like I said, I know a lot of the players on the team still, so I'm still invested. I want Dak to do well. I want Gallup to do well. Coop, even though we didn't play together in Dallas, I played with him in Oakland. So I want him to do well. So I'm just really invested in the team still, and I hope these guys achieve everything that they want to.
And RJ, as you jump into the conversation, I don't know if you were on when he was talking about, Bryce Butler's big time now. He's got this deal with Callaway, and he hooked up Jalen Smith with some golf stuff. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to hook me up with some good Callaway stuff. RJ lives on a golf course now.
Oh yeah.
He would love to have some Callaway.
Where you at? You at Briggs Ranch? Where you at down there, man?
The Rio Grande Valley, Tierra Santa. It's always open for you, Bryce. Anytime we'll play. Yeah, Jason, I hope you introduced Bryce as a Callaway athlete. Right before I jumped on here, this guy was playing with Dylan Fratelli. He played with John Rahm. He's all over the place.
While he hasn't officially retired from the NFL, he is working for his PGA Tour card, or at least the PGA Network. Maybe NBC, go to the Golf Channel, do something, right?
Yeah, you can check. If you want to look at my YouTube stuff, I have a lot of my golf stuff on YouTube. Some celebrities that I play with. Obviously, I couldn't get Dak on this past off season because I didn't want people to see, me and him playing golf and then start saying, "Oh, the ankle. Oh, why is he golfing with the ankle?" So I'm gonna get Dak after, he goes and wins the Super Bowl this year, and I'm gonna just tell him I need some money.
You had Patrick Peterson on there. I watch all of your YouTube stuff. So
Pat. I got Pat. We live down the street from each other. So I've got Pat on. I got some pro skateboarders on. I got some tricks up my sleeve. I got Steph Curry coming up soon. I got some with Larry Fitzgerald coming up. Larry, you see my stuff, RJ. So I play golf with him all the time. I got some cool
That's
stuff
Scottsdale
coming.
lifestyle.
Yeah, the Scottsdale lifestyle is nice.
But wait, hang on, because how do you play? Like, I know Scottsdale is known for all their golf courses, and the Waste Management is one of the more incredible tournaments. But my daughter's at Arizona State right now. I was out there a couple of weeks ago. It was like 113 degrees at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's hot.
You walk outside.
It's not for the week.
In all this, it's a dry heat crap. How do you
dry heat's worse than
how do you
humidity.
go play golf in that?
You just got to deal with it, man. I used to play with 25 pounds of weight on me in the heat playing football. So, like, I mean, my thing is, like, if I can be in a cart and, you know, if the sun's not beaming down on my head on the cart, I can go hit a ball. I can park in the shade. I'll be fine.
Couple of cold lemonades, as Jason Garrett used to say.
Cold lemonade, yeah. Cold lemonades, a lot of water, you know, a lot of Pedialytes and snacks, and we be good. My son's out there with me a lot, so we have a good time. But you and I cover myself. If you see me golf, you never see skin.
Yeah,
I'm always
Jason. This guy's the real deal. Like, again, Callaway athlete. He played with John Rahm before Rahm won the U.S. Open. Yep. I mean, Bryce has been there. Like, again, and he just played with Dylan Fratelli. So, like, who knows what's coming up for Dylan in 2022?
Yeah, Dylan. Dylan top 5. Was it top 5 or he was 6 in the Open?
Yeah, that's right.
He looked good in the Open, dog. And it was funny because, like, I was talking to him the Monday prior to the Open, and I was like, bro, like, you're in Austin? I was like, why aren't you going to Open? He's like, bro, like, I'm like the third alternate. I'm waiting. And then literally, like, a few hours later, he's like, bro, like, I got in. I'm going. And literally flies out to wherever they were at this year and top 5'd it. Like, I was like, what? That's sick. Like, he didn't even have a practice round on Monday. Like, and he top 5'd it.
You know what you got to do, Bryce, for your next YouTube video? You got to try the glasses that Dylan does.
Oh,
you know
yeah, the Dylan glasses.
You got to do, because that's the other thing, Jason. Bryce has like 1 million sponsors. He's all over the place. It's awesome. And
believe
if you watch him
they call that influencer.
Yeah, well, technically. I hate that word, but I am. I'm with it. Whatever.
You got to watch his What's in the Bag videos, because Bryce's bag, I'm super jealous. I have an Odyssey 2-ball 10 putter, but I'm not Callawayed out like you are.
I'm trying,
but Bryce is going to change that for us all.
I'm trying, man.
I mean, he's got all the hookups, right?
I'm trying. I'm kind of. Sometimes they be mad at me though if I try to get people stuff. I'll be like, "Come on, man, you ain't paying."
Dude,
for
have
this.
we mentioned Callaway enough during this segment
to be
able to get
Come on,
something?
Man. San Antonio, ESPN, Callaway is the way to go. Golf, Callaway golf, trap golf, everything. Hook it up.
You got it. And Bryce Butler on all your socials.
Bryce _Butler. I make it easy for people with an I. If you want to check my YouTube, it's just Bryce Butler Golf.
Bryce, I have one question. I was actually going to DM you this week because I thought about it when I think about California. You told me once when I talked to you there that you have a mix to Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. And I've always wanted to hear this. And I've never heard it, but you said you had one. I really, really, really want to hear it.
I probably did, but I mean, I don't know where it is now, man.
Dude, I was hyped about it.
I still mess around, you know, every once in a while on the tables, but I got kids in the house now, man. It's kind of hard.
Wait, so DJ Duffel's retired too?
DJ Duffel is more like, you know, very, 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 very special events. Like very, very
like a kid's birthday party.
Yeah, very special events. Like if Dak were to get married or something and be like, hey, would you DJ my wedding? Like, I would do something like that.
Come on, man. He would hire like Tiesto or something.
Then I would be mad because I'll be like, I want to enjoy it like a regular person. I don't want to
hire a real like I'm coming as a guest, not a worker.
Yeah, get like Diplo or something. Or like Jazzy Jeff.
You know, Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, he's the man. He's Michael Jordan, the DJ.
Is Dak a good golfer?
Dak? He was solid before he, you know, the leg injury. I don't know where he's at now. He's a quarterback, so he has pretty good depth perception on the green. So he can putt well. I remember we played a match and he beat me because he like made the final putt and I missed, but that was like a while ago. So I mean, I ain't gonna dog his game right now. I'm gonna let my dog get through the season and then get right in the off season before I dog him out.
Awesome, Bryce. I know you got other media people that I mean, you know, the mayor of the River Ridge Complex tennis courts has got to go make the rounds. Great seeing you, man. I didn't expect to run into you out here, man, but this was awesome, man. It's always fun catching up with an old friend.
Everybody
coming out and checking everything out, man. Appreciate it.
Keep it up, Bryce. I love the channel. You too, man.
All day. I appreciate it. Yep. Hey, congrats. Man. I heard. Congrats.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I only tell Bryce Butler my biggest secrets in life. So that's good.
It's understandable. And he's trying to mute the dog.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's one of the things that we learned working at home, man.
Right.
You know, dogs bark when you're at the house. It happens.
Dogs bark.
It happens, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Problem,
Bryce Butler here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. RJ Ochoa with us. We've got Jane Slater coming up in about an hour. Trayvon Diggs is going to join us as well. We got a lot to get into with Aaron Rodgers showing up at training camp. Boy, he had a lot of things to say about his organization. None good, by the way. And Deshaun Watson at Texans camp. Texans getting a lot of run as well. We'll get into all of that as we continue here in Oxnard for AA Best Bail Bonds, Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage. You know, it's Wednesday. You're thinking about what's going on the grill this weekend. You know you want authentic sausage for that grill, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days. Kia Boss's smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see at Kia Boss, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way it was done in 1949 when the company was started in San Antonio. Everything they make still made right in San Antonio. A great local company on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meat. So when you buy Kia Bossa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. And I'll tell you right now, in select HEBs, their smoked meats Kia Bossa maple breakfast links are available at select HEBs, and they are fantastic. You know you're going to fire up the grill. Go get some Kia Bossa today.
I'm James Pledger, and down in Houston, the NFL released a statement regarding its ongoing and active review of allegations against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, who is facing 22 civil suits of sexual misconduct, but that at this time there are no restrictions on Watson's participation in club activities. The Texans are also reportedly working on a trade with Green Bay to send wide receiver Randall Cobb to the Packers, this according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. In Olympic hoops, Team USA bounced back to get their first win of group play, beating Iran 120-66 this morning as Dame Lillard led the way with 21 points in the 54-point blowout. Finally, in the NBA, ahead of tomorrow night's draft, the Spurs have worked out Alex Antetokounmpo, who's the younger brother of Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, who said of him, quote, "I definitely think Alex can be better than me," end quote. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you were hurt in an accident, Thomas J. Henry can help. Let us help you get a rental car, make your medical appointments, and even advance money on qualified cases. If you've been hurt, start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio, San Antonio, Texas.
Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Hi, Jason Minix here. Have Alamo Water Softeners come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. Get free basic installation with the purchase of select new water softeners. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Having a water softener, it's a necessity, not a luxury. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for the three-dimensional soccer fan. Those cardboard cutouts were feeling a little flat. They didn't even yell goal for as long as possible when we finally scored. Well, while the cardboard you is packed away, the real you can head to the next road game. Motel 6 will help you get back into the action with clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
What are you going to do when your air conditioning breaks? What are you going to do when your plumbing breaks? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I call Service First AC and Plumbing. I've got their number in my phone for an emergency. And I'll tell you what, when your air conditioning breaks or your plumbing's leaking, that is an emergency. When you dial that one touch, you're going to get family-owned and operated service from here in San Antonio for over 14 years. Service First AC and Plumbing is fast, reliable, proactively, and most importantly, I trust them. They've come out to my home and saved me more than once. Service First AC and Plumbing. Put this number in your phone, 210-521-1500. Again, 210-521-1500. Save the number before you need it because you're going to need it. It's not a matter of if, but when. When your AC goes down in your home or your business, you know you need to get it fast. You need to call a first responder, the likes of which that Service First and AC and Plumbing is. The number is 521-1500. I trust them. You should too. They've taken care of me many times. When that emergency comes, there's one number to know. That's Service First AC and Plumbing, 521-1500.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
We've got balls. Baseball, football, basketball. For all things sports, you're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage from Oxnard continues, brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald at Kubota. Lots to get into today. Very cool having Bryce Butler stop by to start the show. I'm Jason Minix. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com in as well. Jane Slater from the NFL Network will join us in about an hour at 5:30. We will also talk with Trayvon Diggs. Pads went on today, RJ, and I haven't had a chance to read your recap, but one of the, I miss having you here in Oxnard, but one of the cool things is you're following all the Twitter and kind of you put it in one spot for people at bloggingtheboys.com. And of course, the big story of today was Dak Prescott. He first day of pads, the excitement, they're hitting, it sounds fun. Jay Glazer's here, all of it, right? No, seriously, it was a good day, right? And then all of a sudden, you see Dak talking to the team doctor for way too long. And then Dak is not on the field anymore. Arm soreness. Bryce Butler called it vet move. Bryce Butler, who, and again, not necessarily name dropping, but name dropping, texted Dak to get the pass to come in, right? He was in the family tent for Dak. So he was like, no, he's fine. It's just a vet move, I guess, arm's a little sore. He's getting up there in age now. I mean, lifting all those paychecks. I mean, now, it probably puts a little strain on the arm. Are you at all concerned?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm, like, this is my most prized possession. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the movie Titanic. I know that you were around when the Titanic was built, and Rob was too. Rob was going into college when the Titanic was built. But you remember in the movie, the older woman had that like prize jewel or whatever, I'm talking about? It was like the heart of the ocean or whatever. And it was like the most valuable diamond in the world. That's who Dak is. Like, I mean, like, so yeah, I'm always worried. Like, I don't want to put him in bubble wrap. Like, I'm worried in that sense. But I mean, obviously the context that we've learned over the last hour or so is positive, and it's obviously not that scary. I do think it's positive. Like, if he had been like, tending to or favoring his ankle, then I would have been like smash glass panic. I mean, the fact that it was just his arm is, and the fact that he's a quarterback makes that ironic, but really not that big of a deal.
Well, and I will say this, the Dak Prescott's going to be on the Blitz tomorrow, and they did not say, well, scratch that. Because I asked, are you good for tomorrow? Yeah, no, interview's still on. So that's a good sign. A lot of times if a player gets injured, then the next day they're generally not going to do media. We were supposed to get Michael Gallup today, and he got hurt yesterday and didn't practice today and isn't doing media. So the fact that he is still available, I think, is a good sign. But it is a little concerning when Dak Prescott, it would have been one thing if he wouldn't have come out in full pads and gone through the warm-ups and some of the stretching that you saw him do. But when the team drill stuff started, it didn't go there. I do find it interesting, though, that Garrett Gilbert took all the first-team reps. Is that the official depth chart now? Are we starting to see that come together in your mind?
Yeah, it's a bummer. Not that there's another option that I would prefer. But, I mean, like, that should be, the great Tom Moore used to say of the Indianapolis Colts, the reason why, I know everybody's heard this a million times, why Peyton Manning's backups didn't get reps in practice. It was, and I'm going to clean up his language, but if Peyton goes down, we're screwed, and we don't practice, screwed. And that makes sense, right? Like, I get that. But so if that goes down, like, obviously all hope is lost, generally speaking, but Garrett Gilbert's not the guy. I mean, he's not, like, we know that. And so in the interest of, protecting yourself or hedging your bet, at least, I mean, that's, like, we had an article about this today at Blogging the Boys. I mean, like, how about Blake Bortles? Like, I've heard worse ideas than that.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, you could say Garrett Gilbert isn't the guy. Ben DiNucci isn't the guy. Cooper Rush isn't the guy. But, the idea of, we've seen the Cowboys historically have the insurance policy for a solid backup quarterback and spend a lot of money, and the results weren't there. I mean, I think about like the Kyle Orton years or Brad Johnson, the statue that got to get into some games. We've seen them spend money on backups. And I think when Tony Romo was at a point where he was so fragile, you had to, right? I don't know that the Cowboys are that concerned about Dak Prescott's availability. I mean, last year was a freak injury, but he doesn't miss games with little stuff. I mean, you think about Tony Romo when, he got tackled and broke a collarbone against the Panthers, I believe. I mean, and then boom, it's all over from there. He's not as fragile as Tony Romo was at the end.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's really that fragile. Like, it's hard to find a quarterback that's, that fragile at that point. You're talking about the house that the little pig built with sticks or whatever. But I mean, you've got to be smart. And like, that's, this was like the first practice ever. Like, I mean, ever that Dak left or that Dak even wasn't a part of. I mean, I think he's maybe been limited on a practice report once before. With his hand back when he had some stuff with his left hand. But I mean, this is a guy who, and we talked about that this time last year, like, again, at this time a year ago, he's never missed a game due to injury, right? Like, he's generally been a pinnacle point of health. He's not even 30 years old. You know what I mean? Like, he's still incredibly young. I think it was just a weird day. And I think, Dak mentioned in his press conference when he got his big time deal, that he obviously realizes and is cognizant of the financial investment that the Cowboys had made into him. And so he has to be wiser with himself. He has to be wiser with his body because he knows the team is depending on him. So I think that this is a matter of, like, you know what? There's something that just doesn't feel the way it normally does. It's July where we're in pads. There's no reason to even roll these dice. This is what Garrett Gilbert's for. He can go out and wear his arm out, throwing a CD, making all these amazing catches.
Or throwing it to the defense to help build their confidence, because they did have 4 or 5 interceptions today. I mean, the defense in the 2 full practices that we've been able to see out here in Oxnard, the defense appears to be ahead of the offense. I mean, even Dak threw a pick 6 yesterday. So, I mean, when I look at it, my expectations for the defense aren't very high, to be honest. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen defensively. And it starts with the enthusiasm that Dan Quinn coaches with. I mean, that guy is he makes Chris Richard seem calm when he's out there coaching. And I did not expect to see that from Dan Quinn.
Dan is awesome. I mean, there was, and this is easy to say in retrospect, but the Chris Richard thing kind of, and I don't mean to belittle it. He's a fine coach and wishing him success in New Orleans, but it felt kind of like a parlor trick, like looking back on it, I think, especially like, wow, he wears cleats. You know what I mean? Like there were these things about it that kind of felt hollow. Look, like I think we all got wrapped up in the emotion of it all, which is fine. But then the word that just consistently comes to mind and that Dan Quinn seems to exemplify isn't hard ass like Chris Richard was. And everybody would freak out when Chris Richard would yell, it's teacher. That's what Dan, like he's a teacher. Like he's somebody who wants to educate. And that's, I can't think of a coach in general that I have gotten that vibe about with the Cowboys in a very, very, maybe Matt Eberflus. I mean, that might be the answer. I mean, just a calming presence who wants to teach, who wants to educate. And I even think, everybody made a big deal about the Run DMC story and the lyrics and everything, but like that's part of his teaching methods. Like, that's like first day of school, here's your syllabus. This is how I teach. This is, again, I know when you and Rob were there, you guys had like Fred Flintstone chiseled the tablets and everything. Now we have, laptops and stuff.
Dude, you've been on 15 minutes and you got 2 old jokes. I mean, what are you talking about?
It's hump day. I'm in a mood. I want a root beer. So I mean,
clearly you're in some kind of mood. I mean, I just can't wait for you to get up from that chair and your back hurts and your knee kind of hurts and it takes you a second to gather yourself before you can actually leave the room, because those days are coming for you, man. They will happen sooner rather than later. And again, the idea with the defense being a little bit ahead, and Trayvon Diggs coming up in about 20 minutes or so. When you think about where the defense is, I don't know if they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, but I think everybody knows how bad they were last year. In fact, kind of going back to the Garrett Gilbert question, but defense, it plays a part. On Twitter, Das Enigma 31 tweets in at Jason Minix, if not for a bad defense, Gilbert beats Pittsburgh in his only start last year. And, there is some truth to that. And having watched Garrett Gilbert in the Alliance League, I think he's probably better than what we give him credit for, because we think about Garrett Gilbert at his time at UT, not what he did at SMU. He played great for Steve Spurrier in the Orlando Apollos, and I thought he looked pretty good. In fact, I remember saying on the show and even asking Mike McCarthy, why go back to Andy Dalton? Let's see if Garrett Gilbert can be a true number 2 quarterback in the league.
I mean, yeah, that was I think that's a really, rosy way of looking at what Garrett Gilbert did. I think the Steelers were fraudulent, and I think that in general about who they were as a team. And I think that they were starting to really show that. So Garrett Gilbert kind of caught them at the right time. I mean, respect. And part of the Cowboys kind of, threw the kitchen sink at Pittsburgh that day. The Cedric Wilson fake punt. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, or not fake punt, but the return. But yeah, dude, I mean, like, this is just, you would think that the Cowboys would have learned their lesson with this. I mean, and again, if that goes down, right now they're a Super Bowl contender. They truly are. But without him, they're not. And so there is, like, I understand that logic of saying, hey, we don't practice screwed. So, like, why does it really matter? Why devote even more pennies on the dollar to that position when we can have that somewhere else? I get that. But I mean, if that goes down, it isn't necessarily a he's lost for the season thing like last year. If that goes down and you need to win one game, I don't know that any of these quarterbacks can do that. If he has to miss, if he has a muscle pull and can't play, it's a short week or something, can he be Matt Moore? Can he be, what we've seen other backup quarterbacks be at different times throughout the NFL over the course of the last few seasons? Can he be not Nick Foles, but, can he be the guy to keep you afloat for a week or two or a month max? I don't think there's anybody on the team that can do that.
I agree. Although if it's only Dak and you still got Zeke in that offensive line, I think you still have a chance, because Zeke, and again, we saw this offseason, the videos that he posted, and seeing him in person, RJ, he looks every bit of what you've seen on video. His focus, his dedication is different than what we've seen in years past. I don't know what light bulb clicked for him, but Zeke appears very much more dedicated to his craft. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I think a reason for that, I mean, I don't want to take away from Zeke's potential, own inner drive and inner will to be better and to contribute more. And obviously last season is a motivating factor for him, but he also is closer than he's ever been to potentially not being on the roster, right? Like, I mean, his contractual safety is more up, for debate than it ever has been in his time on this team. And that'll motivate a lot of people. I mean, we've seen that. There's a reason why guys have career years and contract years. Not that Zeke's in that exact situation, but that's nice to see. It's nice to see Tony Pollard still kind of doing the TP thing. I mean, it's a really well-rounded offense, which is amazing given that the defense has kind of dominated in the last 2 days.
It certainly has. As we continue here on the Blitz from Oxnard, California, we'll talk more about Cowboys training camp. Trayvon Diggs will join us coming up at 5 o'clock. Jane Slater will join us at 5:30. We still got to talk about Aaron Rodgers showing up to Green Bay camp, Deshaun Watson down at Texans camp, Spurs and those Ben Simmons trade rumors. We'll get into it, and some interesting court filings from the Big 12 sending a cease and desist to ESPN about harming their little conference. Well, we'll talk about all of that as we continue here from Oxnard, our Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. You got to start thinking about the weekend grilling because, well, when we get back, I'm going to fire up the Traeger. But before I do, I'll get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal starts with great meat, and there's no better place to go than Tri-County Meat Market. Locally owned and full service. They have carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. The beef, the chicken, the pork, the fajitas, the poppers. They even have their homegrown Wagyu, farm to fork Wagyu. They've teamed up with Dean and Peeler Premium Meats out of Floresville for more locally sourced meats. And their weekend specials, man, they've got choice ribeyes at $17.99 a pound. The certified Angus beef ribeye, $17.99 a pound. Their sirloin fajitas, and those beef fajitas get the seasoned kind at $12.99 a pound. Fantastic. They got 3-bone plate ribs, 4-bone chuck ribs, picanha, and their Wagyu sausage at $8.99 a pound. If you've never done a picanha, it's a great sirloin cap. So if you want like a brisket, but you don't want to do a full brisket, do a picanha. It is fantastic. Always have their Pick 5 for $25 as well. Tri-County Meat Market has a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Huebner and on Ralph Fair Road. Check their website, tricountymeat.com.
Score $1,000 in summer cash. Enter the winning keyword, TAN, T-A-N, TAN, at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey everybody, Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. In fact, over 1 million homeowners took advantage of refinancing or buying a new home with Rocket Mortgage. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase again, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. With an official mortgage review from Rocket Mortgage, you'll see just how much money you could save by making a move right now. Don't look back over these next few weeks and wish that you had taken action. You could save hundreds on your mortgage payments or pay off your home loan earlier than planned. You could even take cash out of your home to pay off high-interest debt, complete home repairs, or bulk up on an emergency fund. When you want to secure a low rate, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance. while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rob Thompson on your home for Dallas Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Back here in Oxnard, our AA Best Belmont Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage continues, brought to you in part by Ewald Kubota and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. I'm Jason Minix here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com in as well. And RJ, it's been a running joke for the first couple of days of camp that R&R in the morning, Rob Thompson and Rudy J, when they leave to go get lunch, they haven't made it past Carl's Jr. So I had 2 days in a row of Carl's Jr. as Rob works his way through that menu. Today, they just got back.
Nah, I'm not impressed.
It's Carl's Jr. They just put it in an In-N-Out bag.
Nah, I'm not at all impressed. You're too late in the week at this point. We're in California. Energy has faded. All right, like we know, we get it. You know, like that had to be the first stop.
Literally
you know what I mean?
nothing makes
what
you
happy. What you're doing is like you've been in Italy for like 3 days. You're like, hey, let's go get a pizza pie. Like, no, you should have got one night one.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. But I got it in and out today, and I'm not getting Carl's Jr. Although I got to say that the Carl's Jr. was really good. I don't know that I'd ever had it before. Rudy J jumping on now because RJ, Rudy, pull the camera close to you, man. Get yourself on here. I don't know if you've met RJ officially.
Kind of met
we
him
were literally
yesterday.
on the radio together yesterday, Jason. So good job there.
But you guys are officially in a club.
We're in a club?
Yeah, the driving back from Malibu at 9 miles an hour club. Because we did that last night. We drove all the way down to Malibu. We ended up eating at Neptune's Net, and Rudy got the privilege to drive back. So I will say, trying to compare who was worse driving back from Malibu. Rob said this morning he was going about 30 miles an hour. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
He said this dude literally stopped on the highway. He was going so slow as a car was passing, because he wasn't as white knuckled scared as you were. So I don't know who's got the mantle of driving back from Malibu scared, bleepless, if you know what I mean, but at least he had the radio on and was having conversation, because you were at the radio off, no talking to me, quiet, I've got to concentrate.
RJ and RJ think alike, man. Great minds. I told them I was trying
Rudy,
to get them home.
Yeah, like they're alive today because of our acts of heroism. You know what I mean? So I don't understand this complaining. And how do they repay us? By scarfing down Carl's Jr. and In-N-Out. You know, we provided them more opportunities to live and experience the greatness of life, and they're wasting it on Carl's Jr. It's an insult.
I got In-N-Out today, but again, I have when you're driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, it's hard not to just get awestruck by the beauty.
That's what I'm saying.
And when you're driving down, you don't really get to enjoy it because, it is a windy road. Although I never felt like, man, one bad turn and I'm going to end up in the water.
You were going pretty fast, Jay.
Well,
Jason, you were going pretty fast.
Yeah.
You had to hit the brakes pretty hard a couple times.
Well, it's because, people that were in front of us or the number of police. There was a lot of cops yesterday on the road. So
a lot of
parasailing as fast as I normally do.
Yeah,
no, it's a beautiful drive, but I drive down so you guys can enjoy it. And then I get to enjoy an adult beverage or two at dinner, and then somebody else drives back. I mean, it's a pretty good deal, I think, because you're driving back in the dark.
How are we supposed to enjoy it if you're going 80?
Dude, it's 45 minutes of ocean, man. I mean,
I'm trying to look at the $20 million homes and the ocean and the mountains. Now, one thing that did scare me, RJ, Jason says, Rudy, look at that net. And I'm looking at the mountain and I see the net. And I was like, oh, what's that for? Like in case someone crashes, the car will be less impact. He says, no, that's to catch the rocks that fall off of that mountain. I was like, you know what? Take me home. I was like, get me out. I was like, take me home.
Like every year, Jason hypes this up like it's this incredible experience. Like it's a death journey. That's all it is. Like it's a jungle cruise through paranoia and fear and stress.
Is it not one of the most scenic, beautiful drives you've ever been on?
You just said it. It's 45 minutes of the same ocean, the same piece of water. It's always to the right when you're on the road. I mean, it's
I mean, the different beaches, the houses. I mean,
it was calming.
It is spectacular.
It was calming and it was motivating because I just got this new gig that I'm like.
It's radio, man. You can't even get a guest room in one of those houses.
I'm super ecstatic. And then you drive by this home that's 10 million feet in the air, and you're like, damn, I really ain't done anything. So it was calming and motivating.
All those homes, none of them are owned by a local radio guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got other places to go. I got to keep going. This can't be it.
And then dinner was fantastic. I mean, it's good, but I just, I guess because I've done it a lot, I don't ever remember being that scared driving.
No.
Rudy didn't
I had
drive
the music
scared.
on.
Yeah, you really didn't drive scared. He just drove slow. But I noticed as soon as we had land on both sides of us, he hit the gas pedal pretty good.
Did I?
That's a pretty logical and rational way to live.
I became the chauffeur.
And he chauffeured us right to the rudder room.
Exactly. Then went to the rudder room. Then I had to drive home from the rudder room. Then I drove Rob to work this morning. Like, this is it. I'm driving them home tonight. And my job is done. I did my day of chauffeuring. I paid my dues.
Nah, you're still the rookie here. Tonight might be an Uber night.
I guess so. Oh, yeah, let's do Uber.
Yeah,
let's Uber.
Yeah, we are going to have to do that. Trayvon Diggs will join us coming up next here on The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. In California, it's about 64 degrees right now here in Oxnard. You don't need an air conditioner out here. I know it's a different story in San Antonio. If your air conditioner is having any kind of issues, you've got problems with your plumbing at the house, there's one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quartermoon, they'll provide estimates, second opinions. They do not have commissioned sales reps, but they do have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. Air conditioning problems, plumbing problems, Quartermoon. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Every football season history is made.
Prescott walks the dog. Touchdown.
Every football season history is written.
Perfect strike to Amari Cooper.
San Antonio Sports Star has been alongside history as the exclusive voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody knows the Cowboys as we do. Not even close. Catch every touchdown and every play here. Exclusively on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hey there, it's CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with an inside track on a company that could save your family over $800 a year on a basic service everyone needs, H2O Wireless. If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, H2O Wireless gives you the exact same coverage as one of those, but at half the price. That's right, H2O Wireless uses the same network, same towers. You can even keep your phone and number because switching is as easy as swapping a SIM card. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. And if you want a new phone, H2O Wireless has huge savings on the latest iPhones and Androids. Here's what you need to do. Pick up your phone and dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O, and your family could start saving over $800 a year today.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
The home of the Rangers. This is Rangers Radio on KCDC. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our boys are joining the boys. Cowboys Training Camp, live from Oxnard, California. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
Welcome back to the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix in Oxnard, California for AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage. Now joined by Trayvon Diggs. Pads went on today, man. How much fun was that?
It was real fun. Finally put the pads on, get out there, fly around a little bit, see where everybody's energy at. It was high today, and, we had fun.
Your energy was high. I noticed that. From a player standpoint, was it just nice to just go hit somebody?
Yeah, it felt good. Back to real football. This probably I feel like this is our first real practice. Got the pads going on and stuff. So, it was fun.
What was your best hit today?
When we was doing team drill. I like when the whole team get a piece of the offense. Everybody flying to the ball and stuff like that. Gang tackling. That's my favorite.
Gang tackling. There you go. Trayvon Diggs joining us here on the Blitz in Oxnard, California. Coming in his second year, are you the leader of that secondary group?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to work. I want to show that as be the example. Show everybody, I'm going hard, and hopefully everybody just follow along. I don't want to call myself the leader. I want to show that on the field that I'm the leader, and everybody just follow suit.
Well, I'll say it. You look like the leader of that defense, and you made some comments the other day that I don't want to say it kind of surprised me, but it told me where you were, and that is you got your hands on 14 balls last year, 14 deflected passes, and you said that should have been 14 interceptions. I appreciate that. That tells me you went and looked at a lot of film and said, man, I should have had those. Am I reading that right? Am I reading into those comments the right way?
Yeah, you're reading it exactly right. I left a lot on the table last year. I'm not too happy about that. So, this year, my plan is to take advantage of all my opportunities that I get, making it count.
how do you work on getting interceptions, getting turnovers? We hear every defensive coach player says, man, we got to create turnovers. And you see teams practice it all the time. But how do you make it happen?
You got to go do it, in practice, just, shooting your gun, really just trusting yourself that you're going to be able to make the play, because if you don't make the play, that can end up being a touchdown. You just got to be confident in your abilities and just keep practicing. And I feel like we do that out here. Everyone flying around, attacking the ball. And it's like when one person is getting an interception, the whole team going to get an interception, just going to fall and play like that. So, that's just my main focus, and, just keep practicing and keep pushing.
Trayvon Diggs with us here on the Blitz, and you talk about that. Is getting turnovers contagious? I think about your time at Alabama. They come in bunches. Last year, you ended up with 3. You had those 14 deflections. You felt like it should have been 14. But is that the kind of thing that just comes in bunches? You get one, and then somebody else is going to get one, and then everybody's going to get one. And it kind of felt that way in practice today, didn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Interceptions do come in bunches. You see one person get an interception. I haven't been in practice yet where just one person had an interception. Multiple people on the defense have interceptions when one person gets an interception. So, we just keep that up and keep pushing. We have a really good defense.
Last year, obviously a rough year for that Cowboys defense. This year, new coordinator in Dan Quinn. What has been different to this point through the offseason and the first couple of days of camp here with Dan Quinn running the show?
Everything. A lot of things have been different. Just the energy, in the room, the meeting rooms, just everybody's together. Everybody's on the same page, and you really need that in the defense, just being on the same page, everyone clicking, and it's just going to fall in place. Everyone doing their job, and, great things. I feel really good about this defense this year, so we're going to make it happen.
Have you seen that? Dan Quinn's got a lot of energy. I don't know how many monsters or coffees he has before he goes out there, but have you seen a guy at his age with that much energy in the past?
Yeah, he's like 25. He's like a 25-year-old. Energy is crazy. He always has us pumped. He's somebody you can talk to every day. He's like a an open book. You can ask him anything to talk to him. You need that. He's like a player's coach. So that's really good for us. And just being on the same page and being able to communicate with your defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Trayvon Diggs with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. This is year 2 for you, but in a lot of ways, do you kind of feel like a rookie out here in Oxnard since you didn't get a real full training camp and off season last year?
No. No, not at all.
So are you acting like the Wiley vet? Because they drafted a whole bunch of defensive guys. So as a veteran player, you get to have the rookies do a variety of things, whether it's making them sing or going to get some food. What does Mr. Diggs do to the rookies?
I try to stay away from that because, nobody did that to me. And, I don't really want that done to them. I just want them to come and play football. That's what you're here for. But, I'll make them get some candy or something like that for the meeting room. But other than that, that's as far as I'll take it.
You're not going to make them sing something silly?
Nah.
Did you have to sing last year?
No.
No.
If I probably had to sing last year, I'll probably make them do it this year. But I'm not going to make them do anything that I didn't have to do.
So what I think about camp and you're out here, everybody's together as a team with all the different protocols and that sort of stuff. But take us through what a day is like at Dallas Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard from a player standpoint.
Wake up, meetings, walk through, practice, get out of practice, maybe hit the weights, or you can lift in the morning, more meetings and more walkthroughs.
And then night. I mean, it's any free time. What do you do?
Typically, just go over the tape with the guys. Just spending time with them. I feel like that's the most important part. Getting to know one each other, building that bond with your team, and in your room. So just spending time with them and hanging out with them and just getting to know each other. We are fairly new, but I feel like I've known these guys forever. Things been coming along. Our chemistry's been going good.
Absolutely, and that sounds great. Now, you had the off day Monday, another one coming up on Friday. Do you hang around the complex, or do you get down to L.A.?
It depends. Like this first one that I had, I went and did everything I needed to do for my body. I went and got a good massage, got my feet rubbed a little bit, got my body back together and slept. So, it depends, just depending on how I feel.
Trayvon Diggs here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Take us inside the team chemistry, if you will. A couple of years ago, we were doing our show on Super Bowl Radio Row, and we had your brother on. And it's when he was in Minnesota, and Andrew Sendejo, who was a defensive back there with the Vikings at the time, good friend from San Antonio, heard that he was coming on and texted me to ask him about certain gifts he gets at Christmas time and gives at Christmas time. And they're pretty outrageous gifts that, the teammates share. What is it with the Cowboys? Do you kind of take that advice from your brother and apply that with the Cowboys? Did you have to do that last year, or do you plan on doing it this year?
This year, I feel like something, we got something special going. So I feel like we all deserve special gifts. And I feel like whoever, Jalen, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys with the big bucks can take care of us this Christmas.
So that's it. So you got to start dropping hints with the guys that have the big contracts, right?
Exactly.
So when you go out with those guys, do they all pick up the bill, or do they leave it for the young kids?
We're going to see. Last year was difficult. We had
True.
all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. So we can ask that question next year on this time. I have a good answer for you.
We will do that. Hopefully we'll have you on more during the season as things get back to normal, man. Before I let you go, we talked about some of the struggles that the Cowboys defense had last year. Couple of days of practice this week. Does it feel like the defense is ahead of the offense?
I feel like we're competing. I feel like everybody's, just getting back into things, and everyone's just going out there and competing and giving it their all. It's been fun, Offense has their days, defense has their days, but that's good. At the end of the day, we're competing. We are professionals out here, so it's gonna be hard, and we're trying to make it hard for our opponent, and we both keep going at it like that and making each other better.
That was a good politically correct answer, because I would have said, yeah, man, the interceptions that I've seen the defense get. Saw one go to the house yesterday, 2 or 3 off of Dak by himself. Today, 4 or 5 that I saw. I would say, yeah, the defense is ahead right now. But that's just me, because I don't have to be politically correct. Hey, man, I know it's always busy this time of year. Appreciate you taking some time after practice, joining us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Good luck this season. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Trayvon Diggs. And even though he's going into his second year, certainly seems like he has taken over the leadership role of that Cowboys secondary. Good stuff. Appreciate him taking the time. And it's strange how, because of all the protocols, while I'm still on the tennis courts, he's hooked up out there on the field. So, you're doing the interview without any eye contact, which is unusual and a little bit different.
Hey, you're powering through. Like, that's, I always appreciate it when people pull back the curtain. You're literally doing it every 15 seconds with the curtain behind you. But that's nice to hear. Like you mentioned the Super Bowl where we had Stephon Diggs on. 2 years before that, when I interviewed Kirk Cousins, and I had to carry all that equipment with me over to go see Kirk Cousins, at the Puppy Bowl set. That's cool. I think people like to know that kind of stuff. So,
yeah. And what I find interesting is, from the player standpoint, even though we're all vaccinated and all negative, that, the interactions with the players are very limited. Yet Jerry Jones sat right here at this table, although he was at the other end of the table. Mike McCarthy is going to be on with R&R in the morning tomorrow, and he can come to the table. That's the kind of stuff that you just go, huh? All right. Some things, Jane Slater will be sitting where Rudy is sitting right now in about 15 minutes. It's just interesting, some of the different protocols that you have to go through. But again, we're making it work, and the fact that we're here is enough, right? And watching real football.
Yeah, and you know what, Jason? I don't think people have asked you enough. You do such a great job asking everybody, like asking Trayvon, like, hey, what do you do on your day off? Like, what's your favorite thing about California? We want to know. You know what I mean? Like, is it the weather? Is it the food? Is it the nightlife? Is it the bump and elbows with the Bryce Butlers and the Trayvon Diggses, 6 feet apart, obviously? What's the best part about the California?
Well, I can tell you what isn't the best part, and that's the crap hotel room that we got stuck
You finally
into.
shared the photos of the mattresses.
Dude, I mean, if you're driving into your hotel and you see that, what are the first thoughts? Like some lady tweeted about, boy, don't get on those. There's bed bugs. Like bed bugs are like not even in the top 10 of concerns about what might be on those mattresses.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be like roaches. There's got to be like lizards. There's got to be dog piss. I mean, like there's got to be lots of stuff that you want nothing to do with. I mean, that would. If I had been with y'all, we might have been staying somewhere else. I might have been like, hey, I'm not about this. I might have slept on the table that you're doing the show from right now.
When we pulled up to that hotel and checked into the room, and when the TV didn't work on the first night, although I'll give them credit, man, they got that thing fixed. And they got Spectrum out faster than anybody in the world has ever gotten Spectrum to come anywhere. You know, and I don't have Spectrum, but like my neighbor Hal has Spectrum. He lost internet for like 2 days because they couldn't get out there to fix it fast enough, right? I mean, you know, normally it's like, hey, yeah, you know, I'll be home anytime between 8 and 5. We'll be out there. You know, they give you those ridiculous windows. I had breakfast about 8:30. They're like, yeah, we'll get them out here in an hour. Like, what? And they were there by 9:30 to fix the TV. That's the one positive I could say about this hotel. I mean, the lights go on and off on their own in the middle of the night. There are those automatic lights, like if you walk by, you know, the sensors will turn them on, but something is turning them on. I did find one big ass spider in the room, so maybe there are spiders crawling around, then that turns the lights on. But like they came on about 3:45 this morning. It is literally one of the worst places. And if we could move to a different hotel, we would. The availability isn't there. I mean, you know, the room availability is the issue. So because Airbnb, if you're unfamiliar with the story, canceled our beach house 3 days before we got out here. So we scrambled to find 3 hotel rooms, and it's a wonderful 2-star place. But when you pull in, there are stacks of mattresses in the parking lot and couches. Now, if they were remodeling rooms, as they move that stuff out and there was no intention of putting those back in the rooms at some point, don't they get hauled off like right away? Like if you're doing demo work and you're not putting something back in, you don't leave it stacked up in a parking lot for however long those things have been there. And they've been there since we got here Sunday. And it looks like they've been there for a while. But we're looking at that going, if they're remodeling rooms, are they putting these things back in there? Because why else would they still be there and wouldn't have been taken away, hauled away to the dump or wherever you send that kind of stuff?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think at the very least, you know, like I don't run a hotel establishment, but if I did, like the fact that you have all these questions, the fact that your guests would feel this way, you know, that they would be uncomfortable, which is ironic because the mattress is supposed to be the point of comfort, is definitely something I would not want to be going on. But, you know, I did want to say, you mentioned you had to scramble to find hotel rooms. I'm sorry that you don't have a kitchen so that Rob Thompson can make scrambled eggs, because one of the best parts about Oxnard, or the trip is, and I don't know the name of the place, but the place in Calabasas that has the bagels, getting a big old bag of those. And then every day, Rob making some eggs, getting some cream cheese, slapping it on, making yourself a nice egg bagel, you know, massive power. You know, T's and P's, man.
You know, and again, with him doing a morning show now, I don't know that he would be making our breakfast. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we're missing by being in this crap hotel. And there was a show, is it on Netflix? It's hard to say part of the word because of FCC, and I enjoy my job, but Creek is at the end. It might start with an S. You know, it's a very I mean, that place is the Taj Mahal compared to this crap that we're stuck in right now. And if you go look at on my Twitter, the photos of the stack of mattresses, I mean, there is zero exaggeration with what we're saying about this hotel room. I mean, between the guy that looks like he's running a meth lab on the first floor and what I'm assuming is his wife, who also might be a hooker for that's available. I mean, the stuff that we are having to well, it creates great stories, but there is zero exaggeration. And Rudy's like, this how you guys always roll? No. Like, did I sign up for this?
Yeah, imagine making the scary drive that Rudy made last night just to end up there. You know what I mean? Like you drive through
Well,
all
that's
that.
why you go to the rudder room. That's why you go to the rudder room. And, because of, they say COVID, they don't clean your rooms while you're staying there.
Are you saying your rooms that need to be cleaned? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'm saying that they don't even have big towels like for your shower. They're all small, all of them. But literally, I use I don't know how many Clorox wipes and Lysol when we got there just to clean the place to feel safe, and didn't realize that there wouldn't be any additional towels, and I used some to like clean. So yeah, then you call down and you ask for clean towels, and they want a deposit on the additional towels. Wow. Seriously, like literally, can I get extra towels? Can you put a deposit down on those? Or you need to come down and run your credit card for this.
That's awesome. Wow.
Awesome. Awesome is not the way I don't know that it can be. I mean, I don't know that it can be. I mean, it makes for good, fun stories. Even this morning, we have a wonderful poolside breakfast every day because they do have the free breakfast. And we were sitting there eating breakfast today because I get up and get ready about the time the boys get back from doing R&R in the morning. And so we can eat breakfast outside. There's 2 plastic tables that you could sit at. And we're sitting there, and Rudy literally said, do people actually get in that hot tub? I mean, it was, you grab the headphones if you want to chime in, Rudy. I mean, I see you sitting over there laughing. I don't want to tell your stories. I mean,
we good. We family.
But I mean, honestly, would you get in that water?
No, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I mean, it's
like dirt buildup.
It really,
the hot tub.
It was gross. It's like sometimes you go sit by a pool and just put your feet in.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not. Nothing going in there. Nothing going in there at all. But the hot tub
Rudy,
is pretty bad.
Rudy, would you rather spend an evening in the hot tub? So I'm talking like 9 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. You can get out. Get yourself
that's
a couple
long
drinks
time in a hot
time.
tub, man.
Or have to drive up and down the highway you did last night 6 times, going at 75 miles an hour at night.
Hot tub.
Wait, you would do the hot tub before driving the Pacific Coast Highway?
The hot tub, I can take some antibiotics. I can't come back up off a cliff.
Dude, don't drive off the cliff. I mean, if you're a confident driver, that drive is not that complicated.
No.
I mean, you were going 30. I was going 80. It's the same road.
Yeah.
And you were going where for you to fall off the cliff on the way back, you would have to drive over a lane of traffic. So in the oncoming traffic,
through some houses.
Go through a couple houses, at least go through, I don't know how much terrain before you came close to the cliff.
That's true.
I mean, there is no point on that you ever felt like, man, one misstep and I fall. No, if you gunned it, yeah, you're going all, Dukes of Hazzard, smoking the Bandit, just fly off into the ocean. but coming back, you've got an extra lane of separation before the cliff and the water. I'm driving down right next to it. Right?
Great point.
I'm just saying.
Great point. But I can still take antibiotics.
Yeah,
after I get out the hot tub.
I mean, you might need some Lamisil after getting in that thing, man. You're gonna catch something. That is for sure. Oh my goodness, how do we go off the rails already?
Yep, because this is what we do.
Yeah,
we bring in the people with us. They need to know.
I mean, just the thought of having to go back to the room.
Yeah.
Just kind of frightens you. Interesting news out of the Big 12 today. That the Big 12 Conference has sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN about making harmful comments about their pathetic little conference that's about to fall apart when Texas and Oklahoma leave. And I say that I don't know how the Big 12 survives Texas and OU leaving. According to Bob Bowlesby, is what I'm reading on Twitter, the network has apparently at least reached out to one school and talked to them about leaving and where they might go. And they don't want that to happen. The Big 12 is somehow fighting what is inevitable legally now with ESPN to try to save the conference. But for the life of me, I can't imagine who they could get to get back to 10, let alone get to 12, let alone get to 16 and create a super conference that ESPN is going to want to be a part of with the amount of money they're already spending. And when you think about that TV rights deal right now with ESPN and with Fox, with Texas and OU leaving, and they can buy themselves out for about $80 million, there's no way they stay in the Big 12 through 2025. I know it's a lot of legal stuff, and there's lawyers getting billable hours for this. I just don't understand the Big 12 not saying, everybody, you're on your own, man. Go find a home. Find the best place for you. Nobody wants to be on the Titanic right now, and the Titanic is the Big 12.
This is, I mean, like, it's reached a point, and this is sad, but it's reached a point where it's sad. You know what I mean? Like, this is, and I think that's easy to say, if you're not an involved Big 12 member. But I mean, this is a sinking ship. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I think if you're the Big 12, like, what's the best result here, right? Like what is the best possible? Like, what are they looking to achieve? What's the objective here? Like, they want Texas and OU to change their minds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because now, like, the water's been muddy.
Yeah, Texas and OU aren't going to change their mind. I mean, there was even a desperate story the other day, or a story that just comes across as desperate, that they were going to offer Texas and Oklahoma a bigger share of the pie to stay, to entice them with money that would match what they're going to get at the SEC. I think the best possible outcome for the Big 12 is to merge with another conference to create some sort of a super conference. And then you figure out who gets to keep their job in that merger or not, because Bowlesby realizes if the Big 12 goes away, he's all of a sudden unemployed. Those that work, at the Big 12 offices are probably getting their resumes together. And if they're not, they probably should be. But I think the best possible outcome from the Big 12 is to merge and create another super conference that the TV networks are going to want to be a part of, because they're going to be able to make money. Right now, the Big 12, with your anchor tenants being Texas Tech and Oklahoma State, ain't nobody going to that mall. They're not. So they're going to have to merge with somebody, but somebody big. I mean, and I don't know how that plays. If I'm one of those if I'm Oklahoma State, if I'm Texas Tech, Baylor and TCU, I'm looking. If I'm Iowa State, I'm calling the Big Ten saying, hey, let us in. It's going to be interesting to see how it ultimately plays out. Jane Slater from the NFL Network will join us next here in Oxnard, California, as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues, as we're in training camp. Fantasy football, as you know, right around the corner. And I have found the best new place to play fantasy football online. It is UnderdogFantasy.com. It is an easy app and website. You can download the app, or you can play online at UnderdogFantasy.com, and it really is the best new place to play fantasy sports online. They have daily and season-long fantasy sports, including an NFL best ball format, which is an easy-to-play format with no waivers, no trades. You just draft, set it, and forget it. And that's a great way to practice for your home draft that's coming up, or even a way to draft some riskier players, because, you can have a lot of different teams in there. They already have at UnderdogFantasy.com contests for the 2021 NFL season already live, including their Best Ball Mania 2 tournament, which is the largest tournament in all of fantasy football. $25 to enter, $3.5 million in total prizes. If you don't like it, they'll guarantee your money back up to $100. So sign up today using promo code RADIO. Make your first deposit, receive $25 in free bonus cash. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com, find them in the App Store, register with promo code RADIO to get $25 cash for free with your first deposit. And don't forget to enter promo code RADIO at sign up. Download the app today. You can start playing today. Terms and conditions do apply. UnderdogFantasy.com.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Jason Minix here for NUBrakes.com. New Brakes. They're a mobile brake shop that means they will come to you to fix your brakes. And after watching Rudy drive up Pacific Coast Highway, I'm glad we didn't have to worry about our brakes on that road, but any road, whether you're driving around San Antonio or not. If your brakes are bad, get them fixed. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes. They're not going to offer you the traditional upsells like you get at a normal repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They only use premium brake parts, and they do back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. And the best part is they're going to come to you to fix your brakes. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your office, wherever you are. You don't have to deal with the hassle of spending hours in a waiting room at a repair shop or go back and get your car after you dropped it off the day before. You need your brakes done. Get them done with New Brakes. Whether you're relaxing at the house, busy at the office, you do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all their 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now at nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
I'm James Pleasure, and in college football, according to ESPN's Heather Dinich and Mark Schlabach, SEC presidents and chancellors have a scheduled meeting for tomorrow in which they'll discuss the expansion and whether or not to add Oklahoma and Texas to what will be college football's first super conference of 16 teams. A 3/4 majority vote of the SEC presidents and chancellors of 11 to 14 will be required for invitations to be extended. In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys officially signed 2017 first-round pick safety Malik Hooker to the 90-man roster yesterday after his workout. Offensive tackle Mitch Hyatt was placed on the injured reserve to create the roster spot. And finally, down in Houston, the NFL released a statement regarding the ongoing and active review of allegations against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, but say that at this time there are no restrictions on Watson's participation in club activities. I'm James Pleasure for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you spend hard-earned money on a designer watch and that watch breaks, don't you want it repaired with the same designer parts? The same goes for your car after an accident. Your safety and full satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. My Collision Center works for you. Our professionals use original, not aftermarket generic parts that will bring your vehicle's value down. If you have an accident and you want factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadoches, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Pork chop, his coat is very thick. He's an Akita, German Shepherd, Lab, Husky mix. Harold, the Border Collie Pit mix, has the most beautiful jet black coat. Stuart, my rat terrier, has fur now where he never had it before. DINOVITE.com. Dynavite will give them the beautiful, lustrous coat. It will make you smile.
You get some Dynavite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian.
I can vacuum your dog.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Second the takes. The Blitz with Jason Minix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix, live in Oxnard, California, or AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage, brought to you by Southern Recipe, Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Ewald Kubota. RJ Ochoa joining us from his home in the Valley. I was hearing some sort of echo that went away, so whatever anybody did, man, thank you for doing that. Jane Slater from the NFL Network, around somewhere. She might be tracking down a story, or we don't have a TV here inside our tent on the tennis court. I'm not sure if she's still on. She thought she'd be done with her TV duties by now, but we will continue the effort to get Jane Slater on. But RJ, as we do, and you think about the big news today here at Dallas Cowboys Training Camp, and yes, we'll talk some Spurs and some of the ridiculous trade rumors that, forced first-round picks for Ben Simmons might not even be worthy of discussion or acknowledging such a ridiculous thing, or the draft that's coming up tomorrow. Deshaun and Aaron Rodgers, I certainly want to get into. But the big story here at Cowboys camp is Dak Prescott left today's practice with arm soreness. And what I find interesting is, generally vet move guys don't even get out there, right? If they want a vet day off. He was out there doing all the training, all the, some of the shorter throws, and then all of a sudden he's talking to the doctor, and then all of a sudden he's done. There's always concern because it's Dak, but where I'm going with that is apparently he's fine. He will be on the Blitz tomorrow. A lot of times when you see a player get injured and you have him scheduled for the next day, it's going to get canceled. Cowboys PR assures us that Dak Prescott will still do the interview tomorrow. As of right now, things could change overnight. But not that I'm concerned about his arm right now, and it's certainly not his leg. But we had a discussion not long ago about how much playing time do you allow Dak Prescott to have during the preseason. And part of me thinks, now, I don't think he'll sniff the field or even be dressed for the Hall of Fame game. But I do want to see him in a game or two. I do want to see him maybe get a series in one or maybe 2 series and maybe play a half in another, because while the ankle feels good, until he's got to face a rush, until he's got to go through a scramble drill, we really don't know.
I'm fine not seeing Dak. I mean, he's, if they really didn't know, they wouldn't have given him $1 billion. You know what I mean? There's enough, there are enough eggs in this basket, so to speak. We've come this far today. I mean, you mentioned, and I'm monitoring practice, in the Twitter sphere and the Twitter universe. The 17 minutes or whatever it was of ambiguity were terrifying. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to even flirt with that. I mean, it's to call it playing with fire isn't even right. It's like driving along Highway 1 with no railing, you know what I mean, at night, for no reason at all. You don't have to do this. It's unnecessary.
And again, I think, he hasn't played in an NFL game. Is the first time you want to see him on a field for the first time in an NFL game since the injury. Is it, RJ? I don't know if I lost your audio or what, but you seem to be talking, and I am not hearing you at all. But if I don't know that I want to see him for the first time against Tampa Bay.
I wasn't talking.
Well, you were doing something.
I think your visual stream might be behind, Jason, is what the problem is. You know what I mean? But thankfully we know each other's bodies too well to be slowed down by any visual medium.
That's an interesting way to phrase things. So let's move right on from that. That was I do want to see him get into one of these preseason games. I do think that's important just from the game speed aspect of it. You think about a basketball player that is in shape, but that's different than basketball shape. There is the idea of football shape versus being in game speed, because we do know Tampa Bay's got a hell of a defense. And I think the same for the offensive line. While we saw them go through their first full padded practice today, and Tyron Smith and Leal Collins look incredible. Terrence Steele, the backups. This offensive line has spent a lot of time in the weight room. But I want to make sure that they have a little bit of game action at full football speed before the Tampa Bay game.
Look, that's fair. Like I don't think you're saying something that is like completely dumb and not founded in any sort of reason. But that's
that's completely dumb and you're stupid, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, but that's what training camp's for, right? And granted, he didn't practice today, the first padded practice, but that's why the Cowboys have the blue and white scrimmage, right? Like that's why you go through all these things. And like him getting hit one time, seeing one rush, I like that microscopic influence. I don't think is worth the macro level risk that accompanies it.
Part of me says put him in bubble wrap and let's go. Wait for Tampa Bay.
Sounds like I'm swaying you.
Well, no, because and I go back to he's not Tony Romo. Tony Romo, I would have had him bubble wrap because Tony Romo proved to be a very injury-prone quarterback towards the end. Dak Prescott
becomes that.
Oh, but he's not there yet. I don't look at Dak Prescott as the one time he gets hurt happens to be a catastrophic injury that snaps his leg. It's not like I'm worried about him getting hit and there goes a collarbone like Tony Romo. Push him out of bounds and all of a sudden, he's turned his ankle, on his way down because he's wearing Skechers as opposed to Nikes. You look at it, Tony Romo became fragile. Dak Prescott's not been. He's not there yet at the fragile state. So I think I'm a little bit more riskier with Dak Prescott.
So first of all, Dak's wearing Jordans, big deal. How could you forget the Jays? Dan Quinn would be so disappointed in you. But second of all, let me put it to you this way. It's week 2, third quarter. This is the first drive of the third quarter. Cowboys and Chargers are tied at 17 apiece. It's 2nd and 8. Dak is scrambling, and he's picked up 7 of the 8 yards, and he can pick up 2 more for the first down. He's going to take a hit, or he can duck out of bounds and be safe. What do you want him to do in that situation?
Yeah, and again, you look at it. Apparently, we're waiting on a Dak update. Jane Slater just texted she was supposed to be on now. They're getting some sort of Dak update that she's waiting on, and then she's going to be on the NFL Network at right at 6 and right at 7 Central Time, 4 and 5 here out in California. And I'm a little worried now because I don't know if we normally get Dak updates this late. Just saying.
I hope she's just updating NFL Total Access. You know what I mean? I hope that's what it is.
That might be what it is, but I do know. So one of the different things with the Mike McCarthy run practice versus a Jason Garrett run practice that you and I are very used to covering is the afternoon walkthrough. which Mike McCarthy calls a mock game, is closed to the media. So we can't go by there and see what's going on. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe PR has said that they are going to give some sort of Dak update following the mock game, which should be wrapping up here in the next a little bit, or actually maybe getting started here in a little bit, and they're going to do some sort of update. That's a possibility. Not to be too alarming, but that's what's going on.
See, but the fact that is even like remotely at the bare minimum level alarming is why playing him in the preseason is done. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, it's, you know, we've come this far. You know what I mean? Like, we've gone through everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we're right here. Why do you want to piss it away now?
It's all great points. I agree with you and I disagree with you. I want to see him out there a little bit before then. It just visually, I want to see it happen. You know, it's kind of like, you know, all these people that paid $1 million or whatever, more than $1 million, to go with the space with Bezos. I don't want to be on that first flight. I want to make sure it works first. I mean, you know, I want, let's see that thing really take off. Let's see you guys float a little bit and then come back 10 minutes later and spend your money that way. I don't want to be on that first flight. And that's kind of where
you're open to the second flight, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once I see it works, it's kind of like your return drive up the Pacific Coast Highway. Once you've done it once, it might have been scary the first time. Not so bad the next time.
Well, I disagree with the Pacific Coast Highway, but I'd almost rather go to space than drive the Pacific Coast Highway. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
Wow. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com back in Texas, joining us here on the Blitz here in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We'll talk some Spurs and one of the most ridiculous rumors that could be out there involving the Spurs and Ben Simmons, but we'll give it a little bit of attention as we continue here in Oxnard. And while we've been out here, if you saw Rob or Rudy or myself on the social medias in our new San Antonio Sports Star shirts, that nice shirt with the logo, those shirts were done over at Sammy's Embroidery Club, and they look fantastic. If you need your logo on any gear, Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro is the place to go. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on shirts, on jackets, on caps, Sam's Embroidery Club. If you need uniforms, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, and not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion, whether it's an event, a family reunion, maybe for your employees. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. He has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit the massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. Call him. He's by his phone right now, 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Here's pitch. W Power. W Fun. W Rangers Pleasure. The explosive action happens here on the official home plate of the Texas Rangers. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know, you and your family deserve the best water quality. Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. You know, we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your home, but you can control the quality that comes through it. Don't wait until you think something is wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners. Some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. Let Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and a free estimate. Right now, get free basic installation with the purchase of select new water softeners. They're a great locally owned family-run business by the Townsends. They're experts at this. I know firsthand. I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my home for over a decade. They're a great company, great to work with, and they have a great product. Don't just take my word for it. They were voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite on the Nextdoor app. Alamo Water Softeners provides the best value for the highest quality water treatment. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
If an education can help you prepare for a career change, here's an opportunity. University of Phoenix is awarding up to $1 million in new scholarships this month. You could earn between $2,000 and $3,000 in a non-cash tuition scholarship. See which one you may qualify for at phoenix.edu.
They are the players you know and the players you're going to know.
Okay, we'll see what's about to happen.
Get the latest NFL news, moves, and more from Dallas Cowboys Training Camp. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jay Will and Zubin on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix out in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com jumping on with us from his home in the Valley down in Weslaco. We'll get into some Cowboys news in a moment. There's also some more Big 12 legal stuff that we'll get into, but it's the NBA draft is tomorrow night. The NBA draft and the Spurs, and this time of year, you hear lots of rumors, and it's very unusual, RJ, for the Spurs to be involved in a lot of rumors that you might think are true. But when I heard that the Spurs were interested in trading for Ben Simmons, I thought, all right, I'm listening. And it certainly is a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if Alani Walker got traded. I wouldn't be surprised if DeJounte Murray was traded. Not that I want him to be, but the Spurs are the only player I think on the Spurs right now that's untradeable is Keldon Johnson. And so if you're trying to get somebody in and they've got plenty of cap space, you might have to spend some money to be able to do that. Well, Kevin O'Connor on the Mismatch podcast says Daryl Morey, he wants to be the smartest guy in the room. And apparently he's not afraid to ask for the ridiculous.
There's so much stuff floating out there right now about the Sixers having outrageous demands, like wanting 4 first-round draft picks and 3 pick swaps and a young player from the Spurs, they say now. It's like all these deals you hear about is outrageous. Nobody would do it for Ben Simmons. But that's Daryl Morey philosophy.
No, but nobody would do that for Ben Simmons. And I'm glad to hear that Brian Wright hung up the phone on Daryl Morey, or at least I hope he hung up the phone. But they're not giving up 4 number ones, future number ones. They're not giving up all the different pick swaps and a young player for Ben Simmons. Now, I think Ben Simmons has a lot more value than what we saw in the postseason. But 4 number ones, Daryl Morey's insane.
I don't know that Ben Simmons' lack of value is isolated just to the postseason. There's a lot. The sample size isn't small, is my point. It's not like insane isn't a proper categorization. Like this is a fairy tale, right? Like nobody who even wants Ben Simmons. Like just like if Ben, and look, Ben's a nice person. But like, if Ben Simmons were free, like who's lining up?
RJ, a lot of people. I would. I think
I want
think
nothing to do with that.
I think if I'm having a conversation with Daryl Morey, and maybe he's just throwing it out there to see if, why not be greedy, cast a wide net? But I would,
sure.
I would give up a first round pick. I might even give up a second first round pick and a Lonnie Walker for Ben Simmons. I would do that. He has got a lot of value. He is a hell of a basketball player that just isn't a good fit in Philadelphia. He's superstar caliber. I know he became afraid to shoot the damn ball during the postseason. Maybe a change of scenery. Now, I've heard some things about Ben Simmons that we all have. I don't know Ben Simmons. I don't know if he's a good guy or not. But I do hear that he's a very coddled individual. And, the last time we had a coddled individual, it didn't end well. And if he's got a personality to where he has a lot of people around him that are yes men and tell him everything and that's just all rosy, I don't know how well he'll fit with Greg Popovich. The other side of that is he's got to gain his confidence back and not be afraid to shoot the ball. If he's that kind of coddled guy, then you question his work ethic, then maybe not. If he has a good work ethic and needs to be coddled, is that something that he's willing to deal with and make changes? But on the basketball court, what he offers and what he could offer the San Antonio Spurs, I think is worthy of realistic discussions. 4 first-round picks and a young player and pick swaps isn't there. But could there be a conversation that's doable? Absolutely.
Sure, but that's not even the worst deal that they turned down earlier in that clip. They were talking about the offer that Philadelphia and Morey turned down from the Raptors, which would have been OG Anunoby, Kyle Lowry in a sign and trade, Fred VanVleet, and the 4th round pick in this year's upcoming draft. They're asking for the moon for Ben Simmons, and I just don't think he's worth that right now.
Well, but is he worth a couple of stars? If we're going to go solar system here, let's just say, they're asking for Saturn, a big old massive planet. Would they take a Neptune and a Pluto and, one of the moons around one of the other planets? Because
are you sure Neptune is smaller than Saturn? Are you positive?
No, I'm really not.
Look.
Again, I was at a restaurant last night called Neptune's
Yeah, but
Net.
Saturn has rings.
And Ben Simmons does not.
Whoever trades for Ben Simmons is committing to that project. It's a massive undertaking. So that's what I'm saying. I know we're all saying the price tag is not ultimately not going to be high, or the price is not going to be high. But who wants to do that? Who wants to go down that road? That's such a risky thing in general, let alone if you're attaching all this worth to it.
You're still talking about an all-NBA defensive player, an all-NBA player, and an all-star, which are all things that the San Antonio Spurs currently do not have on their roster.
And granted, I still think the Spurs in the draft, and with the draft coming up, get me a shooter. I want a shooter. I want a shooter that will play for the San Antonio Spurs not the Austin Spurs. And I know they got a ton of money to spend in free agency. So if you can add another all-NBA defensive player, then maybe you don't even need to worry about his offense. It becomes Bruce Bowen. The offense that you get is gravy, but you've got that shutdown defender. Maybe then all of a sudden you can be competitive. DeMar DeRozan is out the door. How much is that going to help the scoring for a Keldon Johnson, who's playing extremely well on this Olympic team? Keldon is going to be the lead dog on this basketball team moving forward. If DeJounte is still here, his scoring should increase with DeMar DeRozan no longer there. Derek White's a great defender. DeJounte is a great defender. You add in a Ben Simmons. I could see this working in San Antonio, but at that price. I mean, not that I'm saying he's like, an Outback steak, but you're not going to pay Morton's prices for Outback quality. And Daryl Morey is trying to get everybody to go order off the menu at Morton's, not only with the steak, but with the wine and everything else, but deliver you a blossom, a blooming onion, and a steak from the Outback. And it just doesn't work that way.
This is a really disrespectful segment to Outback Steakhouse. That's my grand takeaway. I mean, wow. Dude,
I love a blooming onion, but I'm not going to pay what it would cost at Morton's.
That's what I'm saying. Ben Simmons is an Outback. Ben Simmons is like the Cheesecake Factory. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Oh, you're so wrong. You are so wrong, man.
Nah, Outback is awesome. You're not giving Outback its proper due.
I didn't say it wasn't, but it ain't Morton's.
Of course it's not. I mean, but there's like two Morton's players in the NBA.
Again, but he's trying to get Morton's prices for it. You're not giving up 4 number 1 picks for Ben Simmons and a player. You're just not. I'm glad the Spurs did not make that deal, but I'm still interested in a little bit of Ben Simmons. We'll talk more Cowboys football as we continue here in Oxnard. Our Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds, for stress-free bail bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Every football season history is made.
Prescott walks the dog. Touchdown.
Every football season history is written.
Perfect strike to Amari Cooper.
San Antonio Sports Star has been alongside history as the exclusive voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody knows the Cowboys as we do. Not even close. Catch every touchdown and every play here. Exclusively on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you're rethinking your office, retail, or warehouse space for your business, the last thing you want to do is overpay the landlord, but it happens every day. I'm Scott McMurray at Bottom Line Realty Advisors here in San Antonio, and we work with business people like you who want to have an effective strategy for their next real estate decision, whether it's leasing or buying a building. Your landlord has representation, and you should too. Even if you're a good tenant with no plans to move at all, you're the most vulnerable to getting a really bad deal. Here at Bottom Line Realty Advisors, we only represent you, never landlords. If you're rethinking your office, retail, or warehouse lease, we'll help you negotiate from a position of strength.
Having Bottom Line Realty on your side doesn't cost you a dime. Contact Bottom Line Realty Advisors at 210-535-7800 and tell them Dave sent you.
Bottom Line Realty Advisors. We get the landlord off your bottom line.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local HEB and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstar batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our boys are joining the boys. Cowboys Training Camp, live from Oxnard, California. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix in Oxnard, California. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. He is joining us from his home in Texas with his lovely dog, Bear. Man, Bear's growing up. It is crazy. I mean, I remember when you first brought Bear home and he was such a cute puppy and you were flooding the timeline like a proud dog daddy. And now I look at Bear looking all mature like he's ready to start kindergarten or something. I hadn't seen Bear in a long time, man. That dog's gotten big.
He's pretty big. He's 2 years old now as of a month and a half ago. So he's wanting some attention. He wanted to go to Cowboys camp too. So he feels very happy that he's now a part of it in this particular capacity. He feels so conflicted sometimes because unlike me, he has a 2 team in the NFL. He roots for the Chicago Bears. How could he not? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a thing. That's why he's also a fan of the Bruins, Jason, in the NHL. You know what I mean? Like he's got a soft spot for Baylor, was happy around, March this year. I mean, he's partial. How can he not be?
Again, influences from his daddy dog daddy. Lots of Cowboys news, although in reality, I mean, as of now, no need to be alarmed that Dak Prescott did leave practice with a sore arm today. He did not throw. Could be a vet move. Deshaun Watson is at practice for the Houston Texans. We're trying to track down Clint Sterner to see if he could jump on and give us the latest, but he's knee-deep in Texans coverage down there with his job at Sports Radio 610, so we'll see if he jumps in. And then, as we complete the quarterback trifecta today, you have Aaron Rodgers showed up. And boy, did Aaron Rodgers take the podium after he got his deal worked out, and he aired all kinds of dirty laundry.
Yeah, that was definitely something I thought about. I talked about how important being a full-timer was for a long time. This was the first time to spend the off-season away without a COVID year or a lockout year. And I enjoyed it. I really did. I took time working on myself and trying to better myself in a number of areas where I feel like I can improve based on my own patterns and conditioning. And it was a lot of growth in that process. I continued to find joy and happiness in things off the field. However, there's still a big competitive hole in my body that I need to fill. And as I got back into my workouts, I just realized that I know I can still play and I want to still play. And as long as I feel like I can give 100% to the team, then I should still play.
Are you at all surprised that he's thought retirement?
No, I mean, like I'm not surprised how any of this went down. I mean, it seems like what do we know? We know he's pissed off, but at the end of the day, he had no options, right? Like, so if he truly hates them, if he truly feels disrespected, then he should have retired. And like today, there has been this, overwhelming sense of like, well, look at Aaron and how forthcoming he was in his presser. And this was super awesome. And it was super awesome to see a player be that honest and transparent. But people are acting like Aaron won. What did he win? Like people talk like Adam Schefter's tweeted the word concessions like more times than Hero Stadium. And like, I don't know. They wiped away 2023. Cool. Guess what? After this season, he like the Packers still own his rights.
Well,
he didn't do anything. He got Randall Cobb. Cool.
I don't know that either side won. The Green Bay Packers won. They still have a Super Bowl caliber quarterback under contract. And what are they going to do? Review the situation at the end of the year. They made Aaron feel better. They went and they traded to get Randall Cobb back. And in a lot of ways, I think that does Randall Cobb a favor because he's out of Houston, does Houston a favor because they get out of a bad contract. But I do appreciate Aaron's honesty in the sense of him saying this wasn't about money.
Post the draft, I think what basically happened was then they said, we'll give you some money now. Let's see if we can throw some money at you. I said from the start it wasn't about the money. Obviously, I didn't show up for the off-season program or mini camp. To me, it was bigger than this. It was about trying to be a resource for the organization that I care about and love so much.
And, little words like that. I love this, but man, you got to listen to me. And one of the things that really bothers me is the way you treat veteran players.
I wanted to help the organization, maybe learn from them some of the mistakes in the past, in my opinion, about the way that some of the outgoing veterans were treated. And just the fact that we didn't retain a number of players that I felt like were core players to our foundation, our locker room, high character guys. I'm talking about Charles Woodson, Jordy Nelson, Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews, Randall Cobb, James Jones, John Kuhn, Brett Kuhn, TJ Lang, Brian Balaga, Casey Hayward, Micah Hyde, guys who were, exceptional players for us, but great locker room guys, high character guys. Many of them who weren't offered a contract at all, or were extremely lowballed, or were, maybe in my opinion, not given the respect on the way out that guys of their status and stature and high character deserve.
It's I mean, wow. All right. Now, if you were a veteran player and you didn't get named just now, do you kind of feel bad? Or was that like, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate what he's doing, but I also understand the business of pro sports, and so does he. Most of the time, the game leaves you. You don't get to leave the game. And the organizations have to make business decisions. And that's why I never get on a guy when he does things in free agency or does things that, like holding out, because the teams are never loyal at the end. We've seen that. Aaron Rodgers, he wants to swing a big one, and he put it out there on the table and said, look, man, I wanted to tell them about the mistakes that I thought they made, and I want them to listen to me. He wants to run the show. Aaron Rodgers, general manager, Green Bay Packers.
I mean, it's annoying, and I think it's cool. It's cool that that Aaron Rodgers is going to bat for his guys. But like all of the dudes that he named when they left the Packers, they didn't amount to much. You know what I mean? Like, and so like, what happens? I love Randall Cobb. He was an awesome Cowboy. Like, he's a great player and did a lot of. What if he's terrible this year? You know what I mean? Like, what if that doesn't revolutionize this offense? Like, what do we make of Aaron Rodgers' ability to be a general manager? Because really, this just is like, and again, kudos to him for doing it. But this is like, I don't like the way you treated my friends.
And that's what it is. And again, when you talk about respect on the way out, low ball offer, again, with the salary cap, you have to adjust things. You rosters constantly change. It sucks. I mean, we do this as fans. We see an older player start to suck, and we wonder why they're still in the league. You should just cut that guy, trade that guy. But there is that emotional attachment in the locker room. There are friends there. That's why a general manager has to make the tough decisions in those situations. What's best for the organization? Well, Aaron, you want to get paid what you do. You know what that means? Two of those guys you just mentioned, they have to go because I can get younger guys on better minimum so you can get yours. Not everybody can do it. Maybe he thinks they should all get a cheese platter and a plaque on the way out the door. Thank you for your service as showing respect.
It's, he said something that, and he did say that he's obviously done a lot for the community in Green Bay, and he has, and I don't want to take away from that. But, I mean, and look, the guy, like, I'm a firm believer that if you are a baller at your job, you have earned the right to be arrogant. And so Aaron Rodgers has earned the right to be arrogant. He's one of the best people who's ever played quarterback in the NFL. But he said today, let's be honest, Green Bay isn't a vacation destination. People come here to play with me. And that's true. Like, I'm not denying that in any sense. But, I mean, like, think about how hurtful that would be if you were from Green Bay. You know, if you were from Wisconsin. I mean, like, it just...
he speaks the truth.
I know, but, like, that's just such a... Like, that would bother me if somebody said that about the Spurs. You know what I mean? Like, it could be true.
But they do say it about the Spurs, RJ. I mean, the Spurs, San Antonio is not a free agent destination. I mean, we were fortunate that we had Tim Duncan all those years, but we are not a free agent destination. I think once people get here, they realize, hey, man, this place is pretty damn cool. That's why so many make it their homes permanently. But it's hard for San Antonio to attract free agents.
Well, and I get that. But my point is, it's a really disrespectful thing to say. And look, the guy's had enough, and he's done. But and I actually, in a weird way, and I know I'm experiencing a lot of emotions with this. You know, I respect that he's actually going there because he has been unwilling to dirty his hands his whole tenure as the Packers quarterback. He's always tried to kind of ride the fence and just be coy and be sarcastic and been unwilling to really get blood on his hands. And he was willing to do that today. So in that sense, I respect that he's finally all in with his conviction. It just, he's clearly taken the kid gloves off.
The offseason started, or the drama started draft day with the Schefter tweet. I really do think Aaron Rodgers played this perfectly for his game plan, for his end goal. He wanted his deal redone. He got that done. Got a bit of a raise. Got a Randall Cobb back. And then as soon as he got everything done, he didn't do any of this when he was on Kenny Mayne's show, but he talked about respect and things in the office and the environment. You know, he's dropped a couple of hints that you knew this was going to come. But as soon as he got his raise, as soon as he got what he wanted, then he was, as one of the guys wrote on Facebook Live, you got your raise and then you told your boss to F off. And that's exactly what he did. At least now, everybody in that building probably already knew where he was standing, but now we all do. It's no more of the innuendos or reading into whatever messaging is on his T-shirts. I mean, he was pretty clever this offseason with how he was sending his message, and I do think that he was ready to retire. I even though he showed up on time and did everything and got this new deal, had he not gotten this new deal, he's rich enough to where I think he would have been done. I mean, you could tell with his honesty today, the conviction was there. Because I really did think that he was going to show up and say, dude, I took the offseason and enjoyed myself. All this stuff in the news, you never heard anything from me. And we didn't. We didn't. It was through other people and through sources.
I will say, he did not do that, but he still did play the media makeup, he blamed, and it's like, dude, I mean, and that's like this guy, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. And I mean, that's generally worked for him to this point, but it's a really sad day for a really storied franchise in the Green Bay Packers and the way he just, and look, maybe he feels it's an eye for an eye. Maybe he feels like they've dragged him through the mud, so now he doesn't care about dragging them through the mud. But, a lot of people have done a lot of great things for the Packers to have had the success that they've had in Aaron Rodgers' career there besides Aaron Rodgers. And today didn't feel like an acknowledgement of that.
No, and it didn't. And I think what you saw today was what he stressed was a lack of loyalty from the team's part to the players on their way out. And he showed a lack of loyalty to Green Bay. He did say an organization that I love and care about. He's always going to be a Packer. He'll show up for the alumni golf tournaments and events when they have them after he's long into retirement. But he's not sending a Christmas card to the Gutekunst guy. I mean, he just isn't going to do it. On the flip side, the other quarterback that is in the news a lot. Sorry, getting a text from Rudy J. So we've been dealing with wildfires that are pretty close to us here at the. In all seriousness, there's been a lot of helicopters flying over. There's been a lot of fire trucks that you can hear going in the highway. I don't know how close the fire is to us, but we can see smoke. But Rudy J just texted, big ass fire. They already did 2 water drops from a helicopter. A lot of smoke in the air right behind y'all.
Okay.
Just saying. You got a text like that, it might distract you. Deshaun Watson at practice today. Nick Caserio and James, the Texans are your team. Nick Caserio, did he really say that having Deshaun at practice was not a distraction?
Yeah, that's right.
He really said that.
He really said that, and I think he deep down kind of believes it.
Nick Caserio.
The Deshaun situation, I know there'll probably be a lot of questions about that. I would say my comments about that, or he reported for training camp the other day. I know the league put out a statement and made some comments about where they are in that process. And again, I think from our perspective, it's a day-to-day endeavor. We're going to take the information, we're going to process that. We're respectful of everybody and everything that's involved. So we'll kind of take it one day at a time, and ultimately we're going to do what we feel is best, for the Houston Texans. I'm sure there'll be some questions. I know there's been a lot of speculation about what the Texans will do, about a lot of different scenarios. I mean, quite frankly, a lot of it's speculation. I'm not going to comment about a bunch of rumors about what we've done, what we're going to do, what the plan is. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not my responsibility. The reason I was brought here by the McNair family is to do what I feel is best for the Houston Texans organization on a day-to-day basis, and that's my responsibility to ownership. That's my responsibility to the players, and that's my responsibility to the coaching staff. So that's how we're going to handle it. Okay. So, with that, we'll take some questions here for a few minutes, and then we'll kind of get moving.
Will Deshaun be on the field today?
Again, I'm not going to get into an individual discussion about who's going to be doing what. Again, everybody will go out there, whatever they're going to do, and I'm not going to comment about somebody, what they're going to do on a day-to-day basis.
Nick, you said it's not your decision to make, but you just spent 5 minutes talking about everything. You're the GM. Whose decision is it to make about what Deshaun Watson does with his team?
Again, we're going to do what we feel is best for the organization on a
Who makes that
day-to-day
decision?
basis. So, again, it's a collective effort. Between myself and David Culley, we're going to talk about everything each day, and then we're going to do what we feel is best.
Is it in the best interest of this team for Deshaun Watson to be around this team right now?
Again, I'm not going to get into speculation about what's right and what's not. Again, the most important thing for us is to do what we feel is best, and the most important thing is for the players to go out there and get themselves ready to play. So whatever that entails, whatever that looks like.
I feel bad for Nick Caserio. I mean, he's
Really?
in a no-win. Well, he's in a no-win situation. When he took the job, he didn't know that he had a quarterback that was unhappy, that was on the verge of having, how many are we up to now? 24 different female massage therapists accuse him of improper conduct, I guess, if you want to couch it that way.
Sure.
But you can't say, well, it's my decision, and then say it's not my decision. It's a collective decision. It's who's making the decisions there?
I don't know. Who's the one that made the decision to test his position flexibility by putting him at safety today?
So, well, look, man, it's training camp. You have to have warm bodies. And if I'm the Texans, I don't let Deshaun on the field. But the fact that they put him out on the field but made him go scout team safety. I mean, I've saw the Cowboys do that for a number of years with Jamil Showers. To think that Deshaun Watson and Jamil Showers have something in common is kind of comical, but he's a warm body. I'm sure he's probably a pretty good safety because he's going to play the position as if he's reading things like a quarterback. But I wouldn't let him throw. I wouldn't let him do anything with the offense because all that's going to do is piss off the rest of your teammates going, how did you screw it up with this guy?
Here's the thing. This is an easy fix. Deshaun showed up. He called the bluff on getting paid. The NFL did not put him on the commissioner's exempt list and bail the Texans out like they thought. Give him his money and send him home. Like, you have the ability to send him home from training camp to avoid all this mess. At this point, you're just bringing it on yourself.
Yeah, I would have him at work if I'm going to pay him. There's things that he could probably do. It's not like, military where, all right, you got to show up for work today. You're on KP duty. You get to clean the showers, or you get to do something. But there's things he could do. Hey, Deshaun, can you go cut up all this film for us? But don't go out on the field. And certainly don't go out on the field as a safety. And then don't tell me that it's a distraction when every question is asked about what you're going to do with Deshaun Watson. You're not going to address any rumors. Then you're not going to. It's just a bad situation. I wouldn't put him out there. But if he's out there, RJ, at what point does he get made available to the media? That's what I'm waiting for.
I mean, I think ASAP. Like, you can't hide him. You know what I mean? Like, and it's clear that, I mean, the Texans are in a bad spot, and I think we can all agree with that. It's unfortunate. This is on the NFL. I mean, it really is embarrassing that the NFL is allowing. And if I was the Texans, if I was Nick Caserio, I'd really be, hitting Roger Goodell up like, dude, you've got to do something. Like, you're the one in charge here. I mean, we talked about this earlier in the week. Like, the fact that, other teams are calling about, like, this whole situation, the word I use is gross. Like, it's really gross that the NFL is allowing this to fester for no reason and the NFL can claim, like, oh, we don't want to get involved until legal proceedings are over. Like, that has never stopped you before. I mean, the Texans have done a lot of football things to make their franchise really unbearable and broken. But this is a really embarrassing look for the National Football League as a whole.
It certainly is, and it's going to stay that way. Should be an interesting conversation tomorrow when John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joins us, as he does every Thursday. Tomorrow on the show, we have Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, is going to be on with us here on the Blitz. Earlier today, we talked with cornerback Trayvon Diggs. If you missed it earlier, we're going to replay it for you next as we continue here with our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage, brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota here on the Blitz. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix here for my friends over at Edwin Watts Golf Shops to let you know it's time to tee it up at their re-grand opening. After being closed for 5 months, they have weathered the storm and they're now back open and ready to serve you. And you got to go check out their newly remodeled store there at 410 in Nacogdoches. It's amazing and features GC quads in every hitting bay. While you're there, check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts is packed with the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more, and they have it all in stock. And their highly knowledgeable staff is ready to help you improve your game. So swing by the newly remodeled store. Get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts, 410 in Nacogdoches. And don't forget, Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee. And you can also shop them online at worldwidegolfshops.com. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, 410 in Nacogdoches, now back open to serve you.
I'm James Pleasure, and down in Houston, the NFL released a statement regarding its ongoing and active review of allegations against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, who is facing 22 civil suits of sexual misconduct, but that at this time there are no restrictions on Watson's participation in club activities. The Texans are also reportedly working on a trade with Green Bay to send wide receiver Randall Cobb to the Packers, this according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. In Olympic hoops, Team USA bounced back to get their first win of group play, beating Iran 120-66 this morning as Dame Lillard led the way with 21 points in the 54-point blowout. Finally, in the NBA, ahead of tomorrow night's draft, the Spurs have worked out Alex Antetokounmpo, who's the younger brother of Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, who said of him, quote, "I definitely think Alex can be better than me," end quote. I'm James Pleasure for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, San Antonio, it's time to get out and grill. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Summer is here, and no backyard barbecue is complete without kielbasa sausage. We handcraft them the old-fashioned way, the same way we have since 1949. You may want to buy a little extra because your family and guests will be coming back for seconds. Try us today. Find Kielbasa sausage at a store near you.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus. The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America, and our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement. If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department. Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the US that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
I need tech that can make me as productive in my home office as I am at my office.
It's possible with Staples Connect.
How about tech that will help me focus on my work and my workouts?
Also possible. Staples Connect has all the tech you need to work and learn from home. And now Apple AirPods Pro are only $179. That's $70 off. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or at staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. N731 Limit 2 in-store only.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A place where passion runs deep.
He's got to man up and show up at the game.
The new San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM in Oxnard, California. I'm Jason Minix. RJ Ochoa is back in Texas. You know him from bloggingtheboys.com. As we continue with our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage, we do have some breaking news on quarterback Dak Prescott. After leaving today's practice early today with soreness in his right arm, Dak Prescott underwent an MRI. The results of the test show that Prescott has a muscle strain in his right shoulder. He'll be treated and further evaluated on a day-to-day basis. Dak said that he felt some soreness when making certain throws today and really decided not to push things too far. Better to be cautious and smart about it. Nothing major, no serious setback. He says he'll be fine. RJ?
I mean, I'm not worried. And this feels like this feels like more procedural than anything. Like the Cowboys have to do, you have to release this, et cetera. And I wonder if it's just a matter of like, I don't know if being on Hard Knocks exacerbates that. This will be on episode 1, though. I can tell you that. And so, it's just, it's not ideal, but I think it, if you're looking for points of optimism, obviously it's not a big deal. He's day to day. Shout out to Jason Garrett. And Dak clearly knows his body well. Like I love that Dak, didn't push things and just kind of said something doesn't feel right. I want to double check. I mentioned, that when he got paid in that press conference, he mentioned that he is cognizant that he is the face of the franchise, that there's a large investment in him and he has to be smart with his body. And it seems that today he did that and he was right to do so.
Well, and again, I think you're right. Very in tune with this body. It obviously goes beyond your normal soreness for even what he was telling the doctor just to go get an MRI. But again, maybe if you're a quarterback of America's team, anything requires you to get an MRI. And I'm sure it made some great footage on Hard Knocks. But again, not alarming this early in training camp. Fine. I'm sure if this were the regular season, he would certainly play through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would depend on, but that's kind of what we talked about today too, right? Is like, who's QB2 on this team, right? Because what if, you got to, if it's a game against, Washington, the second Washington game, and the Cowboys are in the race for the NFC's title. Yeah, he plays through that. But if it's your game against Atlanta in the middle of the year, if it's your game against Vegas on Thanksgiving, like, are you putting him out there for that game? Like, especially Vegas, if, on that quick turnaround week, like, you never know how quickly life can change in the NFL, which is why you have to have somebody that can help you buy time. And the Cowboys don't right now behind him.
Yeah, they certainly don't. And again, Garrett Gilbert was getting first team reps today. I don't know if Mike McCarthy has officially put out any kind of depth chart on who is QB2, 3, and 4. But the way the rotation was working, I believe it went Gilbert, then Danucci, and then Cooper Rush. They might as well have had Rudy J, Rob Thompson, and Jason Minix out there. Although the defense shined today, a whole bunch of interceptions coming from that defense with the backup quarterbacks going. Although, to be fair, Dak Prescott threw a couple yesterday, including a pick 6. Speaking of the defense in the secondary, earlier today we had a chance to catch up with cornerback Trayvon Diggs. If you missed it, pledge hit the play button. This was Trayvon Diggs from earlier today on the Blitz. Welcome back to the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage. Now joined by Trayvon Diggs. Pads went on today, man. How much fun was that?
It was real fun. Finally put the pads on, get out there, fly around a little bit, see where everybody's energy at. Energy was high today, and, we had fun.
Your energy was high. I noticed that. From a player standpoint, was it just nice to just go hit somebody?
Yeah, it felt good. Back to real football. This probably I feel like this is our first real practice. Got the pads going on and stuff. So, it was fun.
What was your best hit today?
When we was doing team drills. I like when the whole team get a piece of the offense. Everybody flying to the ball and stuff like that. Gang tackling, that's my favorite.
And gang tackling, there you go. Trayvon Diggs joining us here on the Blitz in Oxnard, California. Coming in the second year, are you the leader of that secondary group?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to work. I want to show that as be the example. Show everybody, I'm going hard, and hopefully everybody just follow along. I don't want to call myself the leader. I want to show that on the field that I'm the leader, and everybody just follow suit.
Well, I mean, I'll say it. I mean, you look like the leader of that defense, and you made some comments the other day that I want to say it kind of surprised me, but it told me where you were, and that is you got your hands on 14 balls last year, 14 deflected passes, and you said that should have been 14 interceptions. I appreciate that. That tells me you went and looked at a lot of film and said, man, I should have had those. Am I reading that right? Am I reading into those comments the right way?
Yeah, you're reading it exactly right. I left a lot on the table last year. I'm not too happy about that. So, this year, my plan is to take advantage of all my opportunities that I get, making it count. How do you work on getting interceptions, getting turnovers? We hear every defensive coach, player says, man, we got to create turnovers. And you see teams practice it all the time. But how do you make it happen? You got to go do it, in practice, just, shooting your gun, really just trusting yourself that you're going to be able to make the play, because if you don't make the play, that can end up being a touchdown. You just got to be confident in your abilities and just keep practicing. And I feel like we do that out here. Everyone flying around, attacking the ball. And it's like when one person is getting an interception, the whole team going to get an interception, just going to fall and play like that. So, that's just my main focus, and, just keep practicing and keep pushing.
Trayvon Diggs with us here on the Blitz, and you talk about that. Is getting turnovers contagious. I think about your time at Alabama. They come in bunches. Last year, you ended up with 3. You had those 14 deflections. You felt like it should have been 14. But is that the kind of thing that just comes in bunches? You get one, and then somebody else is going to get one, and then everybody's going to get one. And it kind of felt that way in practice today, didn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Interceptions do come in bunches. You see one person get an interception. I haven't been in practice yet where just one person had an interception. Multiple people on the defense have interceptions when one person get an interception. So, we just keep that up and keep pushing. We have a really good defense.
Last year, obviously a rough year for that Cowboys defense. This year, new coordinator in Dan Quinn. What has been different to this point through the offseason and the first couple of days of camp here with Dan Quinn running the show?
Everything. A lot of things been different. Just the energy, in the room, the meeting rooms, just everybody's together. Everybody's on the same page, and you really need that in the defense, just being on the same page, everyone clicking, and it's just going to fall in place. Everyone doing their job and, great things. I feel really good about this defense this year, so we're going to make it happen.
Have you seen that? Dan Quinn's got a lot of energy. I don't know how many monsters or coffees he has before he goes out there, but have you seen a guy at his age with that much energy in the past?
Yeah, he's like 25. He's like a 25-year-old. Energy is crazy. He always has us pumped. He's somebody you can talk to every day. He's like an open book. You can ask him anything to talk to him. You need that. He's like a player's coach. So, that's really good for us. And just being on the same page and being able to communicate with your defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Trayvon Diggs with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. This is year 2 for you, but in a lot of ways, do you kind of feel like a rookie out here in Oxnard since you didn't get a real full training camp and off season last year?
No. No, not at all.
So are you acting like the Wiley vet? Because they drafted a whole bunch of defensive guys. So as a veteran player, you get to have the rookies do a variety of things, whether it's making them sing or going to get some food. What does Mr. Diggs do to the rookies?
I try to stay away from that because, nobody did that to me. And, I don't really want that done to them. I just want them to come and play football. That's what you're here for. But, I'll make them get some candy or something like that for the meeting room. But other than that, that's as far as I'll take it.
You're not going to make them sing something silly?
Nah.
Did you have to sing last year?
No.
No.
If I probably had to sing last year, I'll probably make them do it this year. But I'm not going to make them do anything that I didn't have to do.
So what I think about camp and you're out here, everybody's together as a team with all the different protocols and that sort of stuff. But take us through what a day is like at Dallas Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard from a player standpoint.
Wake up, meetings, walk through, practice, get out of practice, maybe hit the weights, or you can lift in the morning, more meetings and more walkthroughs.
And then night. I mean, it's any free time. What do you do?
Typically, just go over the tape with the guys. Just spending time with them. I feel like that's the most important part. Getting to know one each other, building that bond with your team, and in your room. So just spending time with them and you hanging out with them and just getting to know each other. We are fairly new, but I feel like I've known these guys forever. Things been coming along. Our chemistry's been going good.
Absolutely, and that sounds great. Now, you had the off day Monday, another one coming up on Friday. Do you hang around the complex or do you get down to L.A.?
It depends. Like this first one that I had, I went and did everything I need to do for my body. I went and got a good massage, got my feet rubbed a little bit, got my body back together and slept. So, it depends, just depending on how I feel.
Trayvon Diggs here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Take us inside the team chemistry, if you will. A couple of years ago, we were doing our show on Super Bowl Radio Row, and we had your brother on. And it's when he was in Minnesota, and Andrew Sendejo, who was a defensive back there with the Vikings at the time, good friend from San Antonio, heard that he was coming on and texted me to ask him about certain gifts he gets at Christmas time and gives at Christmas time. And they're pretty outrageous gifts that, the teammates share. What is it with the Cowboys? Do you kind of take that advice from your brother and apply that with the Cowboys? Did you have to do that last year, or do you plan on doing it this year?
This year, I feel like something, we got something special going. So I feel like we all deserve special gifts. And I feel like whoever, Jalen, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys with the big bucks can take care of us this Christmas.
So that's it. So you got to start dropping hints with the guys that have the big contracts, right?
Exactly.
So when you go out with those guys, do they all pick up the bill, or do they leave it for the young kids?
We're going to see. Last year was difficult. We had
True.
all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. So we can ask that question next year on this time. I have a good answer for you.
We will do that. Hopefully we'll have you on more during the season as things get back to normal, man. Before I let you go, I mean, we talked about some of the struggles that the Cowboys defense had last year. A couple of days of practice this week. Does it feel like the defense is ahead of the offense?
I feel like we're competing. I feel like everybody's, just getting back into things, and everyone's just going out there and competing and giving it their all. It's been fun, Offense has their days, defense has their days, but that's good. At the end of the day, we're competing. We are professionals out here, so it's gonna be hard, and we're trying to make it hard for our opponent, and we both keep going at it like that and making each other better.
That was a good politically correct answer, because I would have said, yeah, man, the interceptions that I've seen the defense get. Saw one go to the house yesterday, 2 or 3 off of Dak by himself. Today, 4 or 5 that I saw. I mean, I would say, yeah, the defense is ahead right now. But that's just me, because I don't have to be politically correct. Hey, man, I know it's always busy this time of year. Appreciate you taking some time after practice, joining us here on The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Good luck this season. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Trayvon Diggs. That was from earlier today after practice here on The Blitz, the Cowboys corner. The big news out of practice is Dak Prescott left with a sore arm, did have an MRI, has a bit of a muscle strain in his shoulder. We expect to have Dak Prescott on the Blitz tomorrow, so we will talk to him about that. The Texas A&M athletic department and their board of regents had a meeting today about a meeting that's coming up, because you have meetings to have meetings to have meetings, but they've already told us that they have decided in their meeting today that when they go to the SEC meeting, they will vote for expansion to allow Texas and OU in. We'll talk about that while the Big 12 is suing ESPN because apparently the ESPN is hurting the Big 12 by trying to get other schools to go elsewhere. We'll get into all that as we continue here on the Blitz, and RJ tries to get his dog to stop biting the microphone or whatever is going on there. More coming up from Oxnard. Let me tell you about my friends over at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, there's no better place to go than Ancira. And I can tell you firsthand, because I am a long-time Ancira customer. Through the years, I have bought many vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That is why Ancira has been a great top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and of course, they have that great customer service. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Score $1,000 in summer cash. Enter the winning keyword, GRILL, GRILL, GRILL at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, maybe strain your shoulder, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. You can schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490 or learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Hi, Jason Minix here. Have Alamo Water Softeners come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. Get free basic installation with the purchase of select new water softeners. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Having a water softener, it's a necessity, not a luxury. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
1, 2, 3. Live and local sports talk to get you out the door. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
We are about to have chaos in college football. I love it. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix out in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Coverage, brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Ewald Kubota. RJ Ochoa from Blogging the Boys in as well. He's back in Texas as he joins us here on the show. The Texas A&M, they're not going to be a no vote when it comes to expansion. You know, when the story first broke, there was the idea that 13-1, maybe they could find a second school, but it looks like it's going to be unanimous that the SEC extends an invitation to Texas and Oklahoma. And who knows what other schools. The Big 12 today is filing, I don't want to say lawsuits. They've sent cease and desist letters to ESPN, demanding ESPN end all actions that may harm the conference and its members, and not communicate with the Big 12 conference's existing members, trying to, encourage them to join other conferences. See, apparently, according to Ross Dillinger from Sports Illustrated, Bob Bowlesby tells Sports Illustrated that he has documented evidence that ESPN tried to encourage an unnamed conference to add Big 12 members in an effort to destabilize the league so Texas and OU could avoid the exit fees, which are going to be around $80 million. Now, Texas and OU, they could probably spend that money if they have to. There's no way in hell that they're going to wait until 2025 to start playing in the SEC. This isn't going to happen this football season, but next football season, it's on. The idea of other teams, other schools, other universities leaving the Big 12 would allow Texas and OU to get out scot-free and not have to pay that money. It is about to be chaotic in college football.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is predictably now coming down to money and pride and egos. Like this is amazing. I mean, like we're talking about college football. College basketball is going to be really interesting now too.
True.
I mean, Chris Beard, all of a sudden, maybe not exactly what he signed up for. I mean, it works out, but
do you think Sark knew? Do you think Chris Beard knew when they took the jobs? that
I think that
that UT
they had to
was
have
going.
known it was possible. Yeah, like they had to have. Maybe it wasn't a guarantee, but they had to have known. Like, you know what, we're trying for this.
Do you think they told him during the interview process, or as soon as the contract was signed? Oh, by the way, can you sign this here? It's a non-disclosure. What I'm about to tell you will have to kill you if you let it out. But we're moving to the SEC. Or,
yeah, I think,
hey, man, come over here because not only that, you're going to coach at Texas, but we're moving to the SEC.
Man, I am so just excited. Like, I love stories like this. Like, I love stories where you need like various experts to explain what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, you need the athletic director expert, right? Like somebody who knows the like intricacies of how this works within the universities. You need the television expert that tells you like how this works within like the television money. Now you need the like lawyer or a lawyer for us, excuse me, to tell you how this is going to work between like the Big 12 and ESPN. Like, all this like internal fighting is amazing. Like, it's incredible drama and incredible theater. Like we use the phrase, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on this a lot, but I really cannot wait for the 30 for 30 on this.
Well, it's going to be interesting because if you're the Big 12, and obviously Bob Bowlesby is staring unemployment in the face, as is everybody else inside that Big 12 office. They all better be getting their resumes together because the Big 12 is not going to exist in a while. If I'm Bowlesby, am I trying to merge with another conference to create a super conference? Because if you look at if you're Baylor, if you're TCU, if you're Texas Tech, if you're Oklahoma State, none of those programs individually or collectively can carry the Big 12, and they're not going to attract 2 or 4 or 6 other schools to join the Big 12 that are Power 5 quality. You see what I'm saying? But could the Big 12, with what we know now, merge with another conference to try to create a super conference with the SEC? If I'm Bowlesby, I'm trying to do that. But if I'm each one of these member schools, I'm not staying on the Titanic going, all right, Bob, I got a lot of faith in you that you're going to take care of us. If I'm Iowa State, I'm calling the Big 10. If I'm West Virginia, I don't know, I'm calling somebody. But I'm not. But they're going to be the ones left alone because they're just way over there. They shouldn't be in there anyway. If you're Texas Tech and Oklahoma State, while you don't really fit in the Pac-12 neighborhood, are you looking at real estate in that neighborhood, trying to figure out where you're going to go? Because you can't wait for the Big 12 to do something as a group because it's not gonna work. It just isn't gonna work.
What do you think? What was the last great moment for the Big 12?
Say that one more time.
What was the last great moment for the Big 12?
Oh man, Vince Young.
Dude, Sam Bradford. I mean, that was after that.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're up against the wall. Mike McCarthy on R&R tomorrow morning, live from the tennis courts here in Oxnard. As we sit right now, Dak Prescott scheduled to be on the Blitz tomorrow. Tune in as we continue our Cowboys camp coverage from Oxnard.
Summer is all about the sunshine. Baseball's All-Star Game. Getting wet to cool off. And patiently waiting for football season to get here. Pass the time and win some summer cash. We're giving away $1,000 each weekday. Listen for